I guess I might as well start playing. Well, here goes nothing.
Long ago, the world was nothing more than an endless sea, cloaked in a boundless sky, reaching as far as could possibly be imagined. Then two great titans came into existence. The Bionis and the Mechonis. The Titans were locked in a timeless battle.
Hey, Frogman. How's it going?
Only their lifeless corpses remained. Eons have passed. Now, our world This vast land stretching across the remains of the Bionis is under attack from a relentless force known as the Mechon.
How are you doing tonight?
Retreat! Retreat! Get away from me! Retreat! No retreat! The end Mecon's unknown!
Fair enough.
They're advancing down our weak right flank. For a bunch of soulless machines, they seem to know a thing or two. But we'll see.
Young man, we've been given the order to retreat. We're pulling back the line to Colony 6. That's where we'll set up the last line of defense.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Any more time spent hanging around here, and we're done for.
Count me in. We gotta get out of here.
Or we can stay and fight.
What?
We may die if we take a stand here, but staying gives us the chance to change our destinies. We have the Monado. With this, the future is ours for the taking.
Stupid beast. Your body can't take any more of the Monado. I can tell by just looking at you.
Getting short-sighted in your old age, Dixon. I'm fine. Don't worry, I'm still in control.
I should have known I couldn't talk sense into a beast. Let's do this. I'm going with you. You'll need someone to drag your corpse on.
As long as
And that's the sign of a true friend.
Boy, you two. We've been ordered to pull back. I'm leaving.
Well, I say you're coming with us. What would we do without those?
The enemy's second wave is approaching!
It's now or never, Dunban. Let's show them what we've got. We'll give them a warm Hom's welcome.
Acknowledged.
Yeah! Ha! What are they trying to prove? I'm not throwing my life away. No point dying in some godforsaken field. Nothing for it. I'll have to use Dunban as a decoy. Yeah, that should give me time to escape.
Dang. I would have never guessed he would have been the bad guy. Man. So I'm actually playing with a slightly modified control scheme. I have a controller, the 8-bit Pro 2, which you can use a program that they make to reassign controls however you want. And one of the ways I've reassigned the controls is the shoulder buttons clone the left and right on the D-pad. And the reason I did this is because you have to use left and right on the D-pad to scroll through your arts in the arts palette. But having it on the shoulder buttons is a lot more convenient because you can move while changing arts without having to like twist your thumb into a really awkward position. So it's just very useful. And then the trigger buttons are now the shoulder buttons, and then the special back buttons that come on the controller, they take the place of the trigger buttons. So I effectively have a full set of controls, but they're just a little bit better than they would be normally. And the trigger buttons aren't really that important. They basically are just modifiers. You can hold down the right trigger in order to give your party members more specific commands, while the left trigger is used for more fine camera control than just rotating. Like, you can zoom in and out with it. And I could use Enchantment Auto to give my friends a fighting chance, but, nah. It's very entertaining hearing their voice clips for constantly bouncing off the enemy. Also, yes, this is the Switch version. This is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Which is, in general, a massively enhanced version of the original game, but it does make a couple changes that I'm not super fond of.
Now, let's even the odds a bit. You heard him. Dixon, Munka, let's do this.
But it is worth it to have a version of the game that doesn't feel like it's being held back. Because that's kind of a thing about Xenoblade Chronicles. Like, the original release on the Wii, and then the 3DS version, it just kind of felt limited by the hardware. Even though, like, the Wii version is still, like, a really good-looking game, generally, especially the environments. The 3DS version is impressive just in the fact that it exists. But, even though you can tell this game was built from the Wii version, it's still nice because it has much less problems with frame rates and such.
What are you doing? That way is... Sorry, brother.
I'll get into the one big change that I'll get into the changes as they come up. Right now, it's mostly just, boy, these graphics sure are prettier.
Organize your funerals. Well, see you, boys. Wait.
Although, yeah, like I said, even though, like, the models are higher fidelity, the animations are mostly the same. So, their hands, even though they have, like, rendered fingers and whatnot, they still animate like the old block hands of the original game.
Those idiots. I'll just come and get them an order when everything's quiet down a bit. That thing's gonna be mine. Oh no, please! No!
Vile Mechon. If you think the Homs, the people of Bionis, are just waiting here for you to pick us off, you are sorely mistaken.
A Mechon M71. I bet I can use its optical system to align one of the anti-air batteries. Oh, no good. It's broken. The joint section. It's buckled. It's completely useless. Ugh. Huh?
The remodeled faces really are such a massive improvement over the originals. Especially if you're used to the 3DS version like me.
Its armor would be perfect for making a shield. If I can just get it off, I should be able to... Shulk! Rhine!
Especially Rhine.
It's not a mechon. It's just a crabble.
He has become an absurdly handsome man in the remake.
I'll lure it away and topple it. When it's down, use your arts to finish it off.
So... Yep. I know how to play the game. Thank you. So, one of the changes I actually don't like from the original is how chance arts work. Like, for example, backslash. If you use it behind an enemy, it does bonus damage. That's all well and good. That still works the same. But in the original game, you would get the bonus damage, like, as long as you initiate the art. But in this game, if they spin around between you initiating the art and the art landing, now the damage, you don't get the bonus damage. Which is kind of a shame, because landing chance arts is actually kind of important. Because not only do you get bonus damage from landing chance arts, but you also get a variety of other things. Which we don't have yet, but like I said, they're important. Also, hello, D-Prototype. What's good is this game!
Thanks, Ryan.
Even though I was just complaining about the way they changed
Man, what were you doing wandering off by yourself?
how chance
Stay where I
arts
can
work.
Keep an eye on you. It's pretty dangerous outside of the colony. There are all kinds of monsters.
Yeah. But thanks to you, we got its shell. Everyone in the colony is going to be really happy.
I'm more worried about you than the shell. Oh, whatever. Knowing what you're like, at least you'll make a decent weapon out of it. This scrap driver's excellent.
I just learned by watching Dixon make weapons.
Of course, Dunban's weapon still beats them all.
The Monado. I hope I can figure out the secret of his power one day.
It's because it's Rhine time! It's always Rhine time!
If I'm late for drills again, old Square Tash is gonna kill me.
Square Tash?
Sometimes it's Shulk time,
Defense Force Colonel.
but mostly Rhine time.
He's pretty scary.
Tell me about it.
Sorry, I didn't mean for you to come all the way out here during your break.
Don't worry about it. Let's get back.
Yep. Tutorials, yep. Yep. Okay, yep. Tutorials. Done. I do like this game, but I wish there was a way to skip the tutorials if it's not your first time playing. Okay, so one of the big changes I really like about Definitive Edition is Expert Mode, which takes all of the experience points that you earn from not murdering people, and it just puts them all in a reserve so you can use them whenever you want. Basically makes them like a bonus EXP from the second game, which I really liked. And also, yes, way better tutorials than the second game, because you can actually review them whenever you want, which is pretty nice. Xenoblade 2 didn't have that, and as a result, there were some things in Xenoblade 2 that I was very confused about the first time I played. It's not really a save versus kill mode. It basically, like, I still get experience points normally from killing enemies, but experience points from quests, experience points from finding landmarks and new areas, all of those experience points, they just go into a reserve, and I can use them whenever I want to level up, and I can even use them to de-level, should I so desire. Which de-leveling is a thing I think more RPGs should have. Oh. Yeah, move the camera up a bit so that way it's not so funky looking. Oh no! Another thing is that it seems like they changed it so that you can't interrupt the post-battle dialogue by opening a treasure chest anymore. Now it just plays all the way through. Which, depending on the sort of person you are, is either very annoying or very good. Collectibles, yep. I actually do kind of prefer the way 2 did collectibles, where you just run around and you grab a bunch of them at once from specific locations. Come on, Ryan, dude. Do your job! I'm going to be murdering a lot of monsters over the course of this game. A lot of bunnets. A lot of rabbits are going to die. That's just the world we live in. That's just the way the Bionis works. They did streamline a lot of things. For example, quests are very streamlined. Which we'll get into when we actually get a quest. Oh, blah, camera. Oh, speaking of things, other big improvements. Oh, wait, nope, we actually can't do anything yet, I don't think. Wait, yes we can. One of my favorite things about this game, I'm so glad they added it. Appearance equipment. So as soon as you find any sort of equipment, it gets added to a list of appearance equipment that you can use. So even if you sell it, you can still use it forever. Anytime another party member joins, you can use their equipment as appearance equipment. Like, for example, I could equip the Rhine armor on Shulk. Well, I could equip what style armor Rhine has on Shulk, though. Like, Rhine's wearing it. But it's so nice! This was a feature in Xenoblade Chronicles X. But Xenoblade Chronicles X, you had to actually use a piece of equipment for your appearance equipment, which was really weird and dumb. This game makes it so much better. You just find a thing, you unlock it. It's all good. And I like it especially because I definitely prefer... Oops. I definitely prefer vanilla outfits for the characters. I am that kind of person. Also, oh my goodness, it's rocks! Oh my goodness, it's an EPZ! Let me know if you're down to jump in, EPZ. There's a thing back here I need to kill first. Ugh. Ring-a-ding-ding-ding-ding. Alright. I will add you to the thing while this fight is fighting.
I will never get over how good Discord's little ring chime thing is.
It is nice, isn't it?
Just sat there for like a good 10 seconds of like, yeah.
It's good shit.
I'm sunburnt to hell.
Uh...
I walked around in the sun for 3.5 hours.
And all I got was this stupid sunburn.
Yeah, because I didn't buy anything at the grocery sale. God dang it.
What's up, Rox?
Give us the news!
News!
What?
Not just any kind of news. Kinda big news, too.
Kinda big.
It's kinda big.
Massive even.
Mm-hmm.
God almighty.
Thanks, man. We need to stick together from here on, and we'll be right as rain. Get it?
This better be a thesis. Yes, it is!
Oh.
Genshin Impact, well, my initial thought was that it's going to be a lot better than Chain. Yeah.
I haven't played Genshin Impact. Isn't that like Breath of the Wild but gacha game?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't played it either, but like that's unfortunately the only like kind of like the closest description I can give. I would actually say that if I had to like really compare it, I would say that like it definitely has a lot of like visual aesthetics that would like when a lot of it was coming around of like people comparing and contrasting like the amount of stuff that was seen in Genshin Impact and then comparing it to Breath of the Wild. It's one of those things where you're like, yeah, you can see it, but I know for a fact that there are a lot of other differences that Impact has that I know technically sets it apart, but unfortunately for me, I looked at Genshin Impact and I just went, nah, I'm good. I'm good. That's not super my jam. But
Meanwhile,
all power to you if people like it. All power to you if you like it.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
But hey,
Like
I get bonus experience points for dying, I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
I mean, that's a Chivo.
Yeah. I can see my death. Sure, this is... Yeah, you know what? Shulk, sure. Little Bonnet.
What does kill you make you stronger?
Things that kill you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't ever let it be something, like, sad, though. Also gives me strong World of Final Fantasy vibes, though. Unsure if you... I know of World of Final Fantasy. I have never played it myself, though. I believe World of Final Fantasy was one of those games where it has like a... It's turn-based, but isn't it also like it has a timeline that like you have to wait for a certain amount of time to pass before it allows it to be your turn again, and both your characters as well as the enemy characters, like sometimes like enemies, like their timeline can sometimes be ever so slightly faster than yours. So in certain instances, like an enemy can sometimes attack you twice.
The active time battle system?
Yeah, something. I didn't know what the hell it was called.
I know a bunch of other Final Fantasy games use it. 6, 7.
Does 7?
Doesn't it?
I don't think so. I think 7 is just normal turn-based.
No, I thought it had I thought it had an active time battle system where you have to wait for a bar to charge before you get your turn.
Oh,
Because
granted, it has been like 15 years since I played the original, but you know.
7 Remake, which I have played a little bit of, it adapts that into the ATB gauge.
That much I do recall. Yes, but and maybe I'm just straight up misremembering it. I always thought it was just standard turn-based. Maybe I'm thinking of like normal battles. Maybe boss battles have like the time-based thing. That would make sense if you think about it. Like having a boss be something that is like a little bit more like you have to actively consider timing and planning and things like that.
Granted, I've never played the original Final Fantasy VII. So
Yeah, it was one of those things where I'm trying to remember what the game that I had was, but tennis turn, but yeah, it's there was a game that we either had rented or that we owned for the original PlayStation that came with like it came with the demo disc.
Oh yeah.
Of 7, so, but it was weird because like it had a good chunk of 7. And then I remembered that, like, the first time I ever went to, like, Blockbuster, rest in peace, and rented Final Fantasy VII, being like, oh, there's, like, 6 discs in here. Oh, it's one of these. Because I'd only experienced that maybe once or twice on the original PlayStation that actually had, like, the multiple disc situations.
I know Metal Gear Solid had 2
I was
discs.
just about to say, I'm almost positive, and I'm going to feel real stupid if I say this in front of Kirby, because he's going to correct me, but I'm positive Solid had 2 discs. Because I remember opening that case up and being like, oh!
It does.
What does this mean?
They make a joke about it in Metal Gear Solid 4 as well.
Mm-hmm.
But,
God almighty. It's crazy to think that was how that used to be. Like, games that were so immense had to be split across multiple discs.
Yeah.
And I loved looking into it as well and finding out what's stopping somebody from just putting in the second disc and just like jumping ahead, so and so forth. It's like, oh no, it's because there has to be memory data that accurately lines up to allow it to continuously take from here to there. The memory system on your card has to say, yes, they reached this point, and here's all the stuff they had.
It's all about those event flags, which is, it's funny you mentioned that. Apparently, you're talking about Final Fantasy VII being on multiple discs. Apparently, the third disc has almost, nothing on it, except for the pre-rendered cutscenes, which the ending of the game has a lot of, and maybe about, a couple hours worth of gameplay.
How many
Areas.
Discs did Final...
And also, the world map, just so you could go to the world map without needing to swap discs.
Final Fantasy VII had 3 discs. Okay, yep. Yeah. I always thought there was 4. Yeah, there's somebody on GameFAQs like, I always thought it was 4. Apparently there's 3. Mm-hmm. I thought there was 4 discs.
Maybe there's a special edition that had a 4th disc with the soundtrack on it or something.
Oh shit! Final Fantasy 8 and 9 were 4 discs.
Oh damn! Oh, those were also on the PlayStation. That makes sense because those games.
That does make sense.
Those games were way bigger.
Mm-hmm. I like how somebody had to clarify. It's like, oh yeah, no, 7 had 3 discs. 8 and 9 had 4 discs because they're both longer than Final Fantasy 7. Thank you. That 4th disc was not just for shits and giggles. Here's this thing. It's fine. Or like you said, it was just this one contains music and cutscenes. Do you need it? No. Did you pay for it? Yeah. Here we are. Oh, Lord of mercy. Already think I know my favorite characters in Genshin are. To be honest, I think he's easy with Razor. He's a boy that was raised by wolves. He is a precious wolf boy and must be protected at all costs. Well, if history serves me right, in terms of just historical things from across the world, being raised by wolves can absolutely be a double-edged sword.
I mean, it worked out well enough for Heifer from Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah, I was thinking more about the brothers. Can't remember what the hell their names were. What the fuck were their names? Ah, fuck, what the hell is that? Boy. Boys raised by... It was like two, they ended up being kings. I know that one of them's name is like Romulus and Remus? Is that what they were? Romulus and Remus were raised by wolves, yeah.
Huh.
The founding of the city of Rome. Yes, okay. Roman mythology.
Oh. Get through all these tutorials.
One of the more popular art pieces that has ever been done that is a depiction of that are the two small boys that are underneath the female wolf. It's like a bronze statue.
Huh.
Grinding out the friendship meter. How else are you supposed to make friends?
We
Gotta
gotta
grind out the friendship meter.
We can beat them with the power of friendship. Oh wait, no,
Kicks the ever-loving shit out of him.
wrong game. Sorry.
God damn it!
That's the sequel.
Ugh.
But
Also, no, go on.
yeah, no, I want to find all buddies. I want to get that affinity chart up there.
I realized that I apologize. I realized that I kind of left you on a weird cliffhanger the other day, where I said that I was working. I'm currently working on a script that's talking about a game that came out recently that I can't shut up about.
Yeah. You just kind of
and then I just passed the hell out because I think it was like 11 o'clock at night. There's dude, I gotta tell you about the. Oh fuck! Imagine that though. I did see the picture. Roxa. Thank you for that. It is absolutely an anime boy.
What the fuck is an anime?
And what the fuck are you talking about? So the game in question is Chicory.
Yes.
I
had a feeling.
Yeah, it's the. I mean, obviously, like, I'm real happy. Like, I wasn't expecting that tweet that I did to explode in the way that it did. Just Jesus Christ. Even to this day, there are people just be like, "This is really funny." I'm like, "Cool. I'm glad." Fuck. But I mean, God, like one of the more fun pastimes that I've had as of recently is being a part of the game was published by a company called Finji. They're very notable for publishing games like Night in the Woods. And on their official Discord, on Finji's Discord, they have like, a game bracket channel section, a folder of like all these different games that you can talk about, and they have one that's like one about just talking about Chicory in general, and then another one talking about another channel talking about spoilers. But the thing that we just have a lot of fun doing is volleying back doodles between me and like 5 other people. And I feel really bad about this because I've tried to get other people interested in Chicory as much as I am, to the point where people have started asking me, it's like, dude, did you work on this fucking game? Is that why you're pushing this so hard? Like, because then they look up information about it, they look up like screenshots and trailers and whatnot. They go, dude, it's literally your fucking art style. Did you work on this game? I'm like, no, that's just a happy coincidence. It's a supremely weird and happy coincidence. But like it's really funny to be like to have now just this huge kind of like ability to I find it just really like the art style of this game is just really fun to do anyway. So doing these sort of like back and forward doodles is just really fun to do with people. But the reason why I kind of feel like it's important for me to like, because normally I've never done a story surgery video on like fresh content. I rarely ever do anything that is based off of something that had like just released. But because I've played through this game multiple times now, and because of just how often I've just been dueling it and like having conversations with people about this, that, and whatnot, it's come to my attention like how much a game as simplistic as this is has a very interesting like ability to tap into a really specific mindset. In that, the way that I've been describing it to people is that Chicory as a game, like, obviously the elevator pitch that I give people is, imagine if The Legend of Zelda was a coloring book. And like that in and of it's like, if you like artsy things and you like The Legend of Zelda and you like really creative puzzle solving, like you will absolutely enjoy the shit out of this game. But the thing that I find so fascinating about it is that it's how this game tackles the idea of you being somebody who works or does creative things. Because this isn't a game where, you know, you're not playing as a character in this game that is artistically inclined. You're kind of playing as somebody who just sort of like casually does artsy stuffs, and all of a sudden there. So to give people in chat who don't know essentially what this is, allow me to kind of do this quick little rundown. I'll wait for this cutscene to be over.
Okay.
Now that I think about it. Wait, fuck, plot.
Oh, god damn it!
Oh, fuck.
Scene. Shulk walks.
What the hell are you playing at?
Camera pans, camera pans, camera pans.
Crashing the mobile
And here's Waluigi.
into a house.
God, look at that motion blur.
Wow, that soldier sure sounds a lot like Shulk.
Shh, dude, shut up. You don't know that.
Yes, sir. You're a disgrace to the uniform.
This guy's gonna blow his back out. Good God.
I mean, he's gotta gesticulate as much as humanly possible.
Yes, sir. Get the artillery back to the military district. Double time. Then I want 1,000,000 press-ups from both of you, and you better not stop.
Stick your bags into it, maggots.
Colonel, we can't move the artillery. What? You better give a damn good reason why. Sir, the impact of the crash damaged the ether conduction cable. The ether fuel proceeded to leak out, and now the cylinder is empty. Well, change the cylinder then. Can't you even do something as simple as that? The auxiliary cylinders have all been used up. It'll be 3 days until more come in, sir. I told you to keep a stock of fuel in reserve. Sorry, sir. You're nothing but slackers.
Same old Colonel. At this rate, the men will all be dead before they see any action.
Who are we fighting?
Jesus Christ. Sorry, it just caught up to the point where the dude just straight up wheels back and decks that dude. Jesus Christ.
Whammaroni.
What's up?
Also, there's a funny Easter egg here that's really easy to miss. But he says, "Oh man, you gotta do 1,000,000 push-ups." He's not here right now, but if you come back here, you might see somebody who expressed concern that the Colonel was going to make him do 1,000,000 press-ups, and they might be stuck doing 1,000,000 press-ups.
No. 1,000,000 press-ups. Why does that sound like Tim Curry?
You've got to do 1,000,000 press-ups. I'm going to be Nickelodeon Smash Brothers.
I'm going to the one place that no man's gone before. Space! I've looked for that clip so many times. Space! Why does he say it like that?
Because
What was his direction?
Alright, Tim Curry, we want you to say this with an accent, a really thick one. And how thick are we talking? Like, really thick. I'm going
We don't-
to
we-
splash!
We can't. We want to make sure that people cannot tell if you said the word space or in a happy medium. Spouse. Perfect. Thank you.
The man's a professional. Oh yeah, I've seen the news about Nickelodeon Smash Brothers. Have you seen the news about Nickelodeon Smash Brothers, EBZ?
Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
I have no idea how to feel. No idea how to feel. I'll be real. I looked at the teasers. I looked at the pictures. I saw a little bit of like video if maybe somebody was like talking about it and whatnot, and I'm like, okay, sure. And like people have even like found like I don't know if it's real. If it is, cool. But somebody had been like found like apparent. I guess maybe Nickelodeon put out like a teaser of like what the box art looks like.
Yeah.
And you can see like the silhouettes of like all these different characters in there, and like people were looking at me like, "Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh." I mean, I looked at it and was just like, I see Egg from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I mean,
That's a supremely overpowered character. I'm just fucking saying.
there's some weird characters already. I mean, Powdered Toast Man is a character in this game.
Yeah.
Like,
See, here's what I'm hoping.
Uh-huh.
I know that the amount of effort to do it would be immense, but I want the roster for this game to be stupidly large.
I mean, they could.
I want it to be like the amount of Nickelodeon characters that is in this thing is fucking obscene.
People already want Hugh Neutron, and the voice actor for Hugh Neutron has been like, yes. I'll do it.
I'll absolutely do it.
And I'm just entertained by that. I also want
Nigel
like,
Thornberry's.
yeah, Nigel Thornberry's in. I want basically, and I'd like to see some characters from like not the Toons. Like, imagine how crazy it would be if fucking All That, if Super Dude from All That was playable.
I'm willing to make I'm willing to make an assumption, maybe perhaps a prediction that like the characters themselves might be Toons, but I'd imagine that there are probably going to be like levels based off of like live action properties.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of neat. Although the one thing I will absolutely fucking riot if this does not happen. If there is not some Legends of the Hidden Temple in there somewhere.
People are already saying we gotta have Legends of the Hidden Temple. People want Olmec to be the announcer for the game.
If there is not guts somewhere in this,
Double Dare!
I riot.
Double Dare!
Slime better be a part of this game or I will lose it.
Dude, freaking last
Absolutely
place gets
double.
Slimed. That would be the perfect.
Yes!
That would be perfect. Yeah, first place do their victory pose, and then last place they get slimed. Bam. I'm talking use the fucking giant peanut butter and jelly sandwich as, like, a weapon.
Yes.
You'll never find all the flags!
Jesus. Oh, God, I have to, like, look up, like, all, like, Nickelodeon. All-Star Brawl. Ugh.
Carmen Sandiego, because they had the game show. Oh yeah,
I can see that.
Who's that
I
gentleman?
forgot
right
about
there?
Chalk.
Yes!
Oh, God, poor-
Yes! Chalk zone! Yes! Please.
Yes.
Rudy has the fucking chalk. Again. Finally.
Although the sad part is that like as much as I love Chalk Zone and as much as I do love the characters, I realize that they're probably on. I hope they put Rudy in there because you'd think, but
I
unfortunately, my brain is like they might just go with like the characters made of chalk though, which is kind of sad.
But dude, Snap would be cool because they'd be the game's Mr. Game & Watch.
Yes, exactly. Even though I already saw people on like on Twitter like kind of doing the what would it look like in this art style, and they even did the whole basically they modeled him in 3D.
Yeah.
But they kind of did that thing where it's stylized 3D. Like it's one of
Yeah.
those things where like it's cell shaded and it moves and all that jazz.
Yeah.
It is very interesting to see how like what exactly they plan on like doing, because it's like obviously like you know there are a lot of characters that you can do that you have options for, but I'm fascinated by it. I'm just absolutely fascinated by this.
What I find interesting is that they have two of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Leonardo and
Yes, they do.
Michelangelo. They're both
Of course
from
they do.
the '86 cartoon. I would have thought they
Yeah,
would have one from the '86 cartoon and then the other from the modern Nickelodeon cartoon. I think that would have
you'd
been pretty
think.
cool.
You know what I actually think would have been a really cool idea?
Mm-hmm.
Have all 4 turtles there, but each one represents a different generation.
Yes. Yes.
Have each one of them like be a different generation, because we have like you can give us Leonardo from the original 80s. Personally, if I had to pick, I would say absolutely give us Donatello from the 2012 Ninja Turtles, purely because I think he's kind of like one of the best representations of Donatello, and he's voiced by Rob Paulson, so it's like that's a win-win in and of
There
itself.
you go.
I know that Paulson gave us the voice of Raphael in the 80s cartoon, but he works so much better as Donatello. So much better as Donatello. I would say Raphael would give us the Raphael from Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's the most recent one, just because I think he looks so visually different. And then give us the from the what the hell is it? Like the 2003. Yeah.
TMNT.
The one where they all look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Even though they did in the original 80s, and I get that was because of toy modeling and whatnot, blah 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 blah, whatever. But I think that would have been really cool, like if they actually gave us that. Like here's all of the generations where Nickelodeon was directly involved, and then the classic cartoon show.
Oh my god. Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome for Nickelodeon Smash.
Anyone other than Dunban were able to control them.
Timmy's dad, I saw that fucking tweet.
Any military force in the world.
Oh, Timmy! I'm not edge guarding, but I'm going to hit you with a 0 to 10 combo.
It's still only conjecture, but it starts to look like Leonardo might be
I see that you're not wave dashing. You really should, because I'm about to hit you anyway.
And just where did you buy wave
in
dashing?
the center when it's activated.
Melee?
The central piece is made from multi-layered.
And this is where I'd use my taunt if I had one. God, dude, like that's the other thing that I'm really hoping that they actually do, if they have like taunt-ish kind of things.
I mean, yeah.
If Nigel Thornberry's if he only gets one taunt, it better be fucking. Imagine spamming that shit and turning about. Dude, stop! Knock it off!
It'd be the new hi!
Hi. Right next to him. Right next to him.
Ah, man. I'm just trying to picture what other taunts would be.
I'm currently looking at like the trailer. I'm like trying to see like what characters like are absolutely like announced, And it's like, okay, yeah, you got SpongeBob, Patrick, we got Gurr and Invader Zim, a couple characters from the Loud House, which I don't know anything about, Toastman, Danny Phantom, Nigel Thornberry. Like, it's interesting to say the least, like the amount of like options that they will have. Like, and there are also people who are like trying to look at past games that like Nickelodeon has done and ask the question, like, okay, victory! Can't do Invader Zim's voice. I'm not gonna try. It's a quick way of blowing up my vocal cords.
I'll see you later.
Let's see.
Because there's a lot of history to Nickelodeon that they can pull from.
There is. There's a ton of stuff that they can pull from.
I mean, at least as much as Nintendo, and Nintendo's pulled like a fuckload.
And Nintendo's even reaching Nintendo's reaching into other like spaces that aren't even Nintendo.
Yeah.
Just gonna reach over here and yoink, you're over here now.
But I mean, like, Nickelodeon is not much older, or is not much younger than video games. So I mean,
not really, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious, when did Nickelodeon start? Like,
I'm pretty sure it was the mid '80s. So about the time Nintendo started building momentum in the games industry.
That's beautiful. Nickelodeon, its opening day, or its first history launch was April 1st, 1979. That's perfect. Like pre-production stuff from 77 to 79, but that's wonderful.
Nice.
I love that idea.
Jenny,
Nickelodeon was officially launched on April 1st. That's wonderful. Of course it is.
Jenny would be a good character, yeah.
Yeah. So right now, confirmed roster for Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl.
So would Valerie from Danny Phantom. Right now we just have Danny himself, but Valerie would be a good character.
Confirmed characters. Helga from A. Arnold. Danny Phantom from Danny Phantom, Sandy Cheeks. SpongeBob and Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants. Zim, Nigel Thornberry, Michelangelo, Leonardo. Reptar.
Yeah.
Sure. Lincoln Loud and Lucy Loud from the Loud House. Oblina from Ah Real Monsters. And Powdered Toast Man from Ren and Stimpy.
No Jimmy Neutron character yet, so...
That's the one thing that I am I'm very interested in seeing. Like, what exactly...
What if it's Ultra Lord?
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
Finally!
Oh, fuck.
Done bad. Thanks.
Sheen, it's time to reveal your character for Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl! This is Ultra Lord! That's the fifth time you revealed Ultra Lord in this game this week!
Not finished yet. Prepared to use the Monado
But
again.
this is a totally special color that has never been before seen! Powdered Toast Man is from Ren and Stimpy. He's like a one-off gag character. I think all he ever did was like he peeled off his face and then scraped powdered sugar onto it to make powdered toast.
Shul's not there right now.
Now I gotta look that up.
I just sent him out to get some fresh air.
Oh, dude.
You know where he
Powdered
is.
Toast Man.
Outlook Park.
There are some other good characters they could bring in from Ren and Stimpy.
Okay.
I mean,
Thanks.
besides Ren and Stimpy themselves.
If Ren and Stimpy don't act like our obligatory ice climbers duo, I'm gonna riot.
Oh my god! That would be so good!
Oh, hi.
Oh man.
We did it, Ren!
Absolutely.
We won! You idiot!
Idiot! You see how many stocks they have? His final smash is him being president and blowing up the stage.
No, it's the history eraser button.
Oh, that, yeah.
Don't touch it!
I know that it's Nickelodeon All Stars, and I know that like there are some things they would never, ever, ever do in the history of Ren and Stimpy. But how fucking funny! How goddamn funny would it be if they decided to be like, let's just throw in one thing from the Adult Swim run of Ren and Stimpy, and just and give them the crotch saw.
Oh.
He
Hey,
just does one thrust with it and it goes away.
dude, if Waluigi can get away with the crotch chop in Mario Strikers, I think
Yeah,
I
think
think
we're
Ren and
alright.
Stimpy can get away with it.
this is fine. Everything's fine. Oh god,
Cow and Chicken's Cartoon Network.
Well,
yeah.
Cat Dog is Nickelodeon, though.
Ooh,
Cat Dog would be good.
I'm trying to think of like who else. Like what if Cat Dog was in? What would be the like obligatory like what character could you compare this to like in something like Smash Brothers?
Duck Hunt Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Banjo and Kazooie.
Yeah, I could see that. Or what? Oh my god! Oh god! How stupid would this shit be if it's like it's supposed to be treated like the Zelda Chic thing, where there's a button where it just switches them around. You press down B and cat's in front, and then you press down B and cat dogs in front,
Oh my
and
god.
the button just to turn them around, but like slightly different moveset.
That would be so
Oh my
good,
God.
though.
That would be so funny. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Blue? Oh my god.
Blues. Oh my god. We're getting into Nick Jr. now.
Can
The
you
Nick
fucking
Jr.
imagine?
universe.
Something really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
What if the whole like Final Smash equivalent is Blue? She runs up, places a clue on like whoever she hits head, and like they try to rub it off, and then all of a sudden the whole world goes dark, and it's all three of the hosts.
Oh my
Blue's
god.
Clues like show up as giant characters, and they just do one like synchronized punch onto the character. That's it. That's the whole Smash.
Oh man.
Oh god. Oh my god.
Swiper assist trophy.
Oh god.
Swiper, no swiping.
Imagine if they put Dora the Explorer in that. Just fucking imagine.
I mean, she was in an action movie recently, so
Yeah.
I still haven't watched that movie.
Yeah. From what I've heard, it apparently was not as like bad as people were thinking it was. The problem is that like it was still Dora the Explorer, so it had one of those things where like if you were to like rebrand this and just give it a different name,
Yeah.
and like not lean so heavy into the Dora the Explorer Laura. Fuck, that felt awful to say.
So basically, get rid of Swiper.
And Boots is in there as well.
And Boots, yeah. Get rid of Swiper and
Mhm.
Boots.
And apparently you would have had like a fairly decent, like, you know, it's still family friendly. It's still for kids. But like,
Yeah.
the thing is that what they did was it was very much this is kids' first Indiana Jones kind of thing.
Yeah.
Without the horrifying things that all of the Indiana Jones movies have done. People forget that Temple of Doom was a fucking thing.
The original Indiana Jones was a fucking thing.
Yeah, Temple of Doom just did like a lot of like it. Temple of Doom's kind of just one of those movies where you're like, yeah,
You know, for kids.
for kid, yeah. Before the rating system decided to like retweak itself, because oh my god.
Remember what you
God,
could get
what-
away with in PG-rated movies back in the 70s and 80s?
Because remember, kids, all that needed to happen was your parents needed to be with you. As long as your parents are with you, you can watch these people get slowly devoured by or watching people eat big monkey brains and horrifying sequence of like a dude ripping another dude's heart out.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's ugh.
Indiana Jones is owned by Disney, I think, because they own
Is it?
Lucasfilm, and Indiana Jones was a Lucasfilm property. I'm pretty sure the films, at least, are on Disney Plus.
I believe so. You can
Yeah.
check that. Let me see. I continuously forget that there is like the different like sections of Disney Plus that you can go into.
Yeah.
What the hell is it? Is it called like Star or something?
Premier Access?
Where it's like no. I remember originally. Maybe they've changed it since I've looked at it last. But like, didn't Disney Plus used to have this thing where it's just like for like the mature or R-rated like movies?
Wasn't it Touchstone?
I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure these movies are still available on Disney Plus, but you had to like go somewhere else on the site to get to them.
Oh. I don't know.
Because like obviously, yeah, they want like it's Disney, so like, and like all the companies that are owned by Disney, so there's like a metric shit ton of things that are like to be taken into consideration. But like, it's almost positive there's like another part of the site that you could go to that like allowed you to get access to like, hey, here are some things that are like not we own the company that made this thing, so technically there it is. It's technically here. Indiana. No, it would not appear that Indiana Jones is on Disney Plus.
Huh. Alright.
I'm wondering if the reason why that is maybe they're wait. Yeah, Lucasfilm was is now owned by Disney, but I'm trying to think if like maybe I'm wondering if there was like a joint partnership that happened with Indiana Jones. Like it had like the rights are like it's still on like Netflix or like some other platform.
Oh yeah, it might be on
Isn't it?
Netflix.
Wait, isn't Hulu underneath the Disney Plus umbrella now?
Is it?
I think so.
That would be nice. Does that mean they can?
We know that Time Warner.
Does that mean I can watch Animaniacs on Disney? That would be so.
I don't think so. I think it's like if you want to, you can get. I know that you can get like a bundle that has like Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't. That's wrong. Yeah, Hulu is owned by the Walt Disney Company.
That is so weird that the Walt Disney Company owns the platform.
What?
That is doing the re-release of Animaniacs.
Oh yeah, no, and they openly poke fun at it as well. And I think that again, as long as they never change that element of Animaniacs, we're all okay. We are all okay. We're all fine.
The only sword that's effective against the
Companies owned by Disney. ABC has an 80% stake in ESPN, Touchstone, Marvel, Lucasfilm, A&E, the History Channel, Lifetime, Pixar, Hollywood Records, Vice Media, and Core Publishing.
Jesus.
Although with Vice Media, they only have a 10% stake. So, oh yeah, no. What does Disney own so far as recognizable brands and film franchises? Star Wars, The Muppets, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but not the X-Men. Yet. Disney Princesses, Chronicles of Narnia, Pirates of the Caribbean, Pixar, Winnie the Pooh, Grey's Anatomy, and Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
So, man,
It must be in some weird legal zone like the Spider-Man movies.
Not quite.
Because
oh yeah, no, that is a whole legal nightmare.
Oh, really?
Because like Marvel was in the pits in the 90s.
Are you serious?
yeah.
Had to sell off the properties, and Sony got Spider-Man, and once that happened, they have a death grip on the fucking thing.
Mhm.
Like, oh, and like that's the part that I think like Sony also is like openly acknowledged that it's just like, oh no, we know that if we offered a stupid amount of money, just like a stupid amount of money,
Ah, the breeze feels-
Disney would pay it. But as long as we don't, they'll never get it. It's like, oh, you bastard.
You're spending too much time with Ryan. You're getting used
Fine.
to all the noises.
I have not seen.
Fucking fine.
I have not seen the new Space Jam. I have no intentions of seeing the new Space Jam. I'm just a little too cynical about it. You know what I mean?
hope every day can be like
Yeah,
this.
Like, I saw that promo frame where they had like a whole bunch of other characters in the background, like the mask and etc., and I was just like, okay, I know what kind of movie this is. This is a movie I'm going to go see, so I can point and go, aha! I understood that reference.
Yeah.
And,
I agree with what some other people have been saying, which is like Space Jam 2 or Space Jam: A New Legacy is a silly popcorn flick. It's one of those things where watching it in the quote-unquote comfort of your own home
mhm.
probably would be a little bit better than having to dedicate time and effort into going somewhere physically to go see it. So, worth keeping in mind.
Yeah.
Just fucking sure. All right. Also, can we talk about this for a brief moment?
Mhm.
About how I randomly decided to look up. I was on Twitter, like looking up like information about stuff, and well, it makes me really happy that like all yesterday the Nintendo of America Twitter handle was just like, oh no, Legend of Groose, here we fucking go. Everything was Groose flavored, and it was wonderful. And it was great. And it was one of the first times I've ever seen, let alone a professional company do it, but I've ever seen a Groose fan cam. It's like, you know what? Sure. Fuck it, sure. Whatever. But today, they switched back to their fucking, god damn it. They switched back to their red logo, Nintendo of America.
Yeah.
Instead of like and all that. And the first thing I fucking see is a video from Metopia. And it is of the enemy known as Twerky.
Mm.
This makes me super uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable. They gave a turkey an ass and then put a mouth on it. What does that mean? I understand it's Japanese and stuff, but Jesus, what the fuck even? fucking. Why they gotta make it move like that? God, whatever. I can easily ignore it, although it is really funny to look at this and be like, it has 2.1 thousand comments on this one tweet. I am not opening it. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. I'm good. I'm fine. Fuck it, I'm fine. I'm good. I don't need this in my brain. Oh, god damn it. Internet is a strange place sometimes, yeah. Internet's I'm happy that there are times where people can get a kick out of whatever, but yikes, guys, like don't Like, let's back it up. Back it up. We're getting too weird now. Just back it up real quick. Just real quick for me. Just like, don't, whatever you're thinking of doing, don't fucking do it.
But I have to!
Everybody ready?
You don't have to. You want to. There's a difference.
But I have to!
Don't. That's the downside now about being like living in the world that we currently do, which is whenever I see like a trailer for a game, movie, show, whatever, and I see something. It could be a person, it could be a thing, could be whatever. I see it pop up on screen, and the first thing that comes to my mind is, "Oh no." Oh no. Internet's gonna have a fucking field day! Field day? Fucking goddamn it.
Yeah.
And then, like, every once in a while, I love looking at the Twitter explore thing, and just I love looking at just the words. I don't look at the description, I just look at the words. I just look at whatever, like, one of the ones that is currently existing here is chess, shiny Pokemon, Charlotte, and this is the one that I'm looking at, and I'm, like, scared. It just says Gothabel. It's in my head. I'm like, okay. This is one of two things. One, this is the character that has this name, and maybe they are a gothic person, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Two, this is Isabel, but gothified. And if, like, and the problem is in my brain, I'm like, neither one of these things. I want to open this and find out what it means. Because I'm scared because it's Twitter. Because I know that with either of these things, it doesn't matter. Either of these things, somebody's going to have a fucking field day. I don't need to know. I don't want to know. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Next. Next. Goddamn fucking.
That's a great mental image. Delete it.
It's like, what is it? It's the scene from Thor Ragnarok. It's like, it's in my brain now.
No. That's never coming out.
That's never going out. Oh God. The problem is that all of us have just been so conditioned that, like, I love the people, like, whenever, like, anything goes trending, and there's always that you click on it, and the first thing that pops up is, like, somebody at the very top say, like, I really regret clicking on this because I was really curious why this was trending. It's like, yeah, here we are. Yeehaw, cowboy. Oh, Jesus. What is it? Just remembered EVZ, saw the new teaser trailer for Encanto. So glad that Disney is giving it more. I'm very interested with what Encanto is supposed to, like, be. In terms of, like, I look at this and I go, okay, I get the gist of, like, what this, like, the pretense of, like, story-wise this could be. I'm always really... it always bums me out when we get a story or an idea, especially from Disney, because Disney has a weird habit of having stuff like this happen, where it is... they come up with a really cool concept for something, like a really cool idea. But the problem is that, like, the story that they accompany it with is either, like, really generic or, like, super predictable. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm somebody who looked at Coco and was, like, fascinated by it. I thought it was, like, I loved the idea, I loved the concept, I loved the execution. and the bait and switch that ends up happening in that I thought was really fun. I thought it was inventive, blah blah, so on and so forth. But fortunately, I'm just always like really scared because like I see the premise that they're setting up for Encanto, and I'm like, I really hope they have like they're gonna do something different than what just this teaser is making me think they're gonna do, and I'm worried.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just.
I'm a little worried. I found this. I picked it up.
That was a good idea.
Good fucking job, Ryan.
This is the power of the Monado!
Ryan!
Goodness.
Oh, Fiora, are you okay?
I'm fine.
It's broken.
What? What do you mean it's broken? Don't you care about me? I could have died.
You're not hurt, are you? The Monado can't cut people. More importantly, what were you
Way to
thinking,
read the
Ryan?
room, Shulk. Fuck.
I came to ask a favor, but you weren't here.
But I was hit with a sword! Yeah, fucking who cares,
But
bitch?
even I need fresh air sometimes. Is your body
I don't
still
see any
feeling numb?
blood! Get out of my haze!
We have to be very careful with the Monado. It's not a toy.
I know, man. I just wanted to touch it. Didn't know it would do that. Sorry. But is it true? The Monado really
wanted to
can't
touch
cut
it.
people?
The pattern in that circle.
Saw the
Maybe
trailer
it's
for
a
Turning
symbol.
Red. Interesting Disney movie as well. Turning Red is one of those things where, like, just from the teaser alone, in terms of like how it looks visually,
Well,
as well as like conceptually, I look at it, I'm just like, this seems it's a really silly idea, but like there's a lot of fun you can have with it. Basically, like
But
instead, imagine
you're
this
more worried
for a
about
moment.
machine than me, Shulk.
13-year-old girl,
I just explained why.
whenever she experiences a high or a very intense emotion, she turns into a gigantic red panda.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that in and of itself, sure. But it's
Also
also,
with the-
it's an interesting... Yeah.
The universe's most embarrassing mom.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Until I
She kicked that poor guy in the shin and proceeded to almost kick the shit out of him just because he was doing his fucking job.
Your blade, it did not cut deep enough.
Oh, look, fucking spoilers. God damn it.
Dang it!
Shulk! Shulk!
What on Bionis happened there?
Ryan, Fiora,
Are you okay? Does it hurt?
no.
But I mean, yeah, it looks like a fun movie.
Ryan,
It looks like
when
a
you
really
held the
fun movie.
Monado, did you see anything?
You know,
I am. I'm curious if it's going to be like
blue light
a.
came out.
I was delighted to find out that like it takes place in Ontario. I was like, oh, that's neat. And then finding out that apparently it took
Time
place in like 2004.
So, was
I'm
it
like,
the movie that
"Aw."
saw that?
That's
Finally, an animated movie that takes place in a time period that's like somewhat closer to the present.
Anyway,
And like one of the top comments on that post that somebody made was like, "Oh, cool! I wasn't born yet." No one.
He's the only one who can use it.
I won't let my use it ever
No.
again.
Don't look at
Not after what it did to him.
Oh,
I used to be a kid.
sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
Still need to watch Luca. Luca is a lot. It's a very charming
To be
film.
honest, this has happened a few times before.
It is super
I've
charming.
been
It's also
researching the
really
Monado
good
for a long
that
time.
Luca was not premiere access.
Look, don't worry about it.
Watch it.
Anyway,
Um,
Ryan, what did you
but-
want to ask me about?
yeah, Luca's really fun. Luca's really fun. Also, just in terms of aesthetics alone, it was so cool to see Pixar basically be like, "What if we didn't do like any art style we've done
Well,
before?"
whether he hit me is neither here nor there.
It's like,
really.
yes,
Although
yes.
actually, he did end up hitting me.
yes, please.
And that ain't all.
Like
He
you,
made me
like
feel
whatever
bad.
the energy that you had from Soul, like keep doing that.
Yeah.
Like
Now I have to go
I
all
still
get
need to watch
experimental with.
Soul.
coins and back.
Oh
So you have
God.
to go and collect
It's a touching film.
Looks like the damage has been repaired. They can't move without the ether energy.
It's one of those things where it's like, after you've watched it, you kind of walk away with it being like, okay, I have, like, my brain has aged.
Probably. Know your way around there, right?
I feel old.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
And yeah, no, absolutely, Frogman. Like, the best part is that, like, there are people who are making the comparison that the dad that appears in Luca looks exactly like the dad figure that appears in La Luna. Like the bristle mustache and the eyebrows that like go over his eyes. Like, of course, like, yeah, that art style. It's like, yeah.
I'll make you a promise.
And like, I like how people were like then comparing that dad to that dad, and then to the dad that was seen in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And people commenting like, this is peak character design.
Nah, she doesn't mean it.
Want this man to be so hard grizzled that his eyebrows drift over his fucking eyes.
And yet they're somehow still able to see perfectly.
Yeah, that was something. So, like, a little while ago, I think it was actually when Soul came out, and my brother was visiting. Me, my brother, his wife, and my nieces, we all sat down and we just powered through all of the Spark shorts that are available on Disney Plus, because they have like all of the short films that they normally put like in front of movies and whatnot. And that was the example of like showcasing like how far like technology wise all of them have come. But it also gave me a really fun opportunity to tell my girls about how it's like, all right girls, let me run this down for you. The shorts that we've been watching so far have been pretty cute, right? Like, they've been really fun. Like, I said, okay, I told my brother, because my brother had the remote, I said, dude, I need you to look up a short called Tin Toy. And my brother goes, why? And I said, because this is a short that has, by far, one of the creepiest CG babies that has ever existed ever on the planet. Ever. Nothing can prepare you for how much pure, raw nightmare fuel this small baby is in the short film Tin Toy that was made by Disney, or made by Pixar. And it's horrifying.
Cut him some slack. It was the 90s.
I get
Technology
that,
just
dude,
wasn't
but
as good back then.
No. The toys in Tin Toy looked fine. The problem is that what they wanted to do was try to make a like photorealistic baby in the early 90s.
Not just a baby, a baby.
Yeah, the baby. And yeah, and Frogman's right. Yeah, no, the diaper on this baby is made of concrete.
Oh, good.
It doesn't have any physics to it at all. It's not made of cloth. It is a rigid body. And when this baby moves its toe, its whole body goes. It's horrifying, and I hate it. But at the same time, like, nobody else in the room had seen this short before, except for myself. We were laughing hysterically. And we were we had to stifle our laughs because, like, the other, like, nieces and nephews were sleeping at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we are just, like, dude, somebody cracked it. It was the same type of energy of cracking a joke at church. It was one of those, like, dude, do not laugh, because the moment you laugh, everything is going to go to hell. Don't do it. Do not laugh. I know we want to, but, like, we're biting pillows. Like, my nieces are screaming into their arms. Being like, what the hell is that? And I said, exactly. They put this in front of a movie. And expected it to be good. They said, yeah, this will be fine.
This is a real showcase of how far we've come in terms of animation.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Fucking, oh yeah, no, oh, so sorry.
Look at what we can do now. Creepy CGI babies.
So I have to correct myself. This was one of the first shorts that Pixar had ever done. It did not appear in front of a movie, and it was made in 1988. And it shows so much. Looking up screenshots of just the baby itself does not hold a candle to how this thing actually moves in the actual short. It's so, and the worst part is that there's even like times where they like, I get what they were trying to do. They like did the thing where like the camera is like supposed to be like on the same eye level as like the tin toy itself. But then they decide to do that one unholy thing, which is a chase sequence. But then we go into the perspective of the tin toy, and it's just this horrifying, ginormous fucking like nightmare coming at the camera at full speed. Like it was one of those, like, that's what caused my, like, the nieces to scream. They weren't ready for that visual. That visual alone scared the shit out of them, and one of them openly said, it's like, I can't sleep. I can't sleep after this. Why would you show me that? And I said, because you needed to see where it all started.
Did we need to? Did we need to? You have scarred me for life.
And the best part is that regardless on how people might feel about the film in general, it was really cool to see that the tin toy himself actually shows up in Toy Story 4.
Mm-hmm.
Shows up in the antique shop. And that was really cute, and I appreciated that. It's like, cool. That's a great example, because, like, again, regardless of how either of us feel about how the story, like, played out in that movie.
Yeah.
Or like the relevance and or need for that film in general. Yeah. It is a testament to say that, like, visually speaking, like, Toy Story 4 is like fucking photorealistic. Like, oh my god.
It is absolutely a tour de force of animation.
My god. Like, and
that's
being able to, like,
all that it is, but you know.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was a show reel. Mm-hmm. Toy Story 4 was a show reel of, like, the new engine. Like, sure, fine. Yeah. That's all right. But the other thing that was really fun was that I do absolutely recommend that before you watch Soul, watch the short film that was supposed to come out in front of it, which is called Burrow. Mm-hmm. It is one of the first times that Pixar has ever done 2D animation. And it is wonderful. The best compliment I think I've ever been given by my youngest nieces was when after they had watched it themselves, and they just go, "Uncle?" I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Oh, we watched Burrow on Disney Plus." I said, "Yeah, do you like it?" And they go, "Yeah, it looks like something you would make." It's like, huh? Immediately crumpled in on myself, and I'm like, oh, yay!
Thank you!
Thank you, small person! I appreciate that more than you realize. Oh, Lord. Can't wait to see the short that was in front of Raya and the Last Dragon again. What was that one?
I don't know.
I can't remember what was supposed to be in front of Raya.
I also haven't watched Raya and the Last Dragon either.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things where, again, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love that Disney, specifically, like, with the movies that they've been putting out recently, I love that they're diving into other cultures. I love that they're doing that. Mm-hmm. I think it's a phenomenal showcase of, like, how they're willing to, like, look into other, like, cultures and whatnot. Is it weird for me? Is it weird for me to want any of these companies that do like international releases and whatnot, or at least films and stuff that are based on like other cultures? Is it weird for me to want them to have like a dual release? One in the like language that it was made in, like obviously like with Riot, like it was made for an English audience. But I also kind of want the animation to kind of also have the option to be like animated in the native tongue by which it comes from. Like I think that'd be really cool to have, like, you know, like obviously yes, like I get that, you know, this is supposed to be like it's an English American based animation studio that's making something that's based off of a different culture. I get that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool if they actually had the ability to be like, here's the same movie, but the animation in terms of like the dubbing and the lip syncing itself is actually in the native language that we like, that this kind of world and this story and this the mythological elements that we're pulling from, it takes place here, so let's make a version of the movie where it actually is in that language.
It's a good movie, but it's basically Disney's take on Avatar: The Last Airbender. I thought that was Frozen 2.
Here's the deal, Rox. I don't necessarily agree with that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you're incorrect. I don't agree with it in terms of like how a lot of people, I know a lot of people who have been using that as a comparison, and unfortunately for me, the comparison really stops with the idea of there being like 4 big tribes of the world that this story takes place in, and that's where a lot of people were like making the comparison, because like the whole like everything else from Avatar doesn't translate into what happens in Raya like at all. Like, I get it, but like
I mean, 4 is just kind of one of those numbers that gets used a lot. I mean,
it's a good number.
Yeah, but I mean, it could also be just the 4 Jungian archetypes.
Absolutely.
I mean,
it's one of those things where like what that allows to happen is that you essentially have the, like, whenever you do the whole 4 tribes situation, in terms of story, here's a little breakdown for you. What that allows you to do is you have your good tribe and your bad tribe, right? You have your polar opposites, the ones that are in real conflict with one another.
Yeah.
You then have the other side of the coin with the other two. So I'll refer to it as the northern tribe, the southern tribe, and then the east and the west. Your north and south are your positives and your negatives, right? These are the ones that are in like true conflict with one another, so on and so forth.
Yep.
What you then have is that you have your east and your west, which neither one of them really fit into either category, but you do have, like, let's say east ever so slightly leans more towards one side, while west leans in the other direction. Or perhaps one of these other tribes has the ability to just completely say nuts to all of you. Like, we're our own thing entirely, and we're just going to like be apathetic towards everything. It's an interesting way of showcasing how you can have similar ideologies, but have something that manages to still take place in the same world. Now, how you do that is going to be very dependent and whatnot, because that's the kind of thing about how it plays out in Raya. Let me see. That's to be fair, busy. Haven't seen much of Avatar myself, so not entirely certain how many similarities there are between the two, if any. Yeah, so if it's just something I can compare to say. Yeah, like the idea of it being 4 tribes or like 4 main civilizations, like that was one big comparison. But once you start, like, if you know anything about Avatar: The Last Airbender, you like it's like, no, this isn't a spoiler. It's literally said in the first episode, and it's said in the intro every single time that the Fire Nation inside of Avatar: The Last Airbender, like, they are the bad guys. Like, their whole thing is about like dominating other places and making them the supreme power around the globe. Like that's their thing. But in Raya, there isn't really a character that's like that. Like there isn't one of those tribes that's like necessarily that. So it's hard to necessarily say like, yeah, no, it's this, blah blah blah. Like it's one of those things where like in terms of concepts, there are similarities, but it isn't one of those like, yes, this is what this is sort of idea. Like that's the thing that kind of gets a little twisted. Because that's always kind of the biggest bummer about the whole thing is that like, yeah, I get that there are things that you can look at and be like, yeah, I can see how there being similarities, but like stories throughout history are going to be like have similarities to past things. Like that's always and forever going to happen.
Yeah.
There's no getting around that. That being said, what makes that story stand out is what allows it to exist inside of its own ideas. How many different variations have there been of any work of Shakespeare? One story that was originally penned by Shakespeare, how many adaptations, reimaginings has there been?
I mean, how many times have those stories happened even before Shakespeare?
Exactly. Shakespeare was just the one who popularized it.
Yeah.
He's just the dude who's just like, what if I made a story about this so good? Everybody's gonna think that I was the one who thought of it first.
I knew she didn't trust me.
Sure.
Frozen 3? What would they even do?
I don't know.
Like, how do you have surprise bad guy again in that universe?
Granted, as anybody who knows me personally knows, it's like, I want there to not be twist villains, surprise villains anymore. I want that shit to stop.
Imagine
no more.
Imagine Frozen 3, the return of Wesselton.
It's Weaselton.
Wrong universe.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, no, that was a good bit. I don't know what else they could do. Like, I was really kind of hoping that Frozen 2 kind of would have went more into that idea of like let's ask ourselves this question. If she can control like snow and ice and stuff, are there other people out there that like
see now
can do something else?
That's the thing. I swear to God that in the board meeting for Frozen 2, they had that exact thought process. It's like, okay, so we got Elsa who can control ice, and we got other elements, and other people can control the elements. And they're thinking this, they're hashing it out, and then finally some guy at his chair, he slams the desk, and he stands up and he says, "God damn it!" Everybody's like, what? And he's just like, this is just fucking Avatar: The Last Airbender. Fuck! And everybody's like, no, but it's different though. And he's just like, it doesn't matter! They're gonna say it's Avatar: The Last Airbender!
I loved that there were people though who were like they saw the teaser, like one of the first 2 teasers for Frozen 2, and there are people being like, is Disney gonna go Avatar with this? And like people were just like, if Disney tries to do this, I'm gonna be like, I'll be real with you, I think I'd be on board. Given this universe and this space, there's a lot of like cool idea. Because that first teaser was so like conceptually, it was so interesting.
Yeah.
It was so interesting to think, like, why is she like trying to like run on water and like leap over a wave? Like, what is she? Wait, is she training?
Yeah. I mean,
is she training? Why is she training?
Because like she was also wearing like some kind of clothing that looked like training clothes, or like
She straight up put her hair in a ponytail, and the internet went, whoa.
Like, she was looking like she was ready to... She was getting ready for her dust-up.
Yeah. She was ready to fucking go down, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
But,
And then in the final movie, it's just... I don't know. I was not particularly enamored with Frozen 2.
It had a lot of potential that it just didn't do anything with.
It kind of felt like just nothing happened in the movie.
Nothing happened in the movie except like, oh, maybe lesbian.
Maybe.
Maybe lesbian. Like that's our favorite kind. Maybe lesbian.
We gotta make sure we can still sell this to the Chinese audience, guys.
A demographic.
We make so much money over there, you guys.
You have no idea. We must pander, and then they did Mulan.
Gotta pander to the pandas.
I won't lie to you, dude. I will ever so often load up the YouTube video that you posted of you playing Arkham City or Arkham Knight, and I recount one scene from that movie. Because I mean, like, fucking really? God damn, dude! Like, it's hilarious. So I just like if I knew I wasn't going to get like DMCA'd into fucking oblivion, I would love to take just that clip of the two of us talking about it, but then overlap the audio of us talking with what's happening in the movie. But every time we stop to laugh, it has to cut back to you playing the game because we can't keep it together.
Everybody's just like, why the fuck is this Batman game doing in the middle of this Mulan discussion?
Where these fucking arrows coming from? Oh god. I mean,
they're over there!
Those assholes! Alright guys, let's turn the trebuchet around. You know, the trebuchet that we brought in ancient China to the middle of a field, in the middle of a valley between two mountains.
Yep.
Because even though that we have established ourselves as being like the bad guys that have the ability to run up walls, I guess.
We ran up walls while carrying the trebuchet, obviously.
Yeah.
That's the power of chi, which you can only use if you're a man, unless you're Mulan.
Only if you're a man! Unless you're that person who pretends to be a man. Taking the song fucking literally.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Did you want the part of the movie where, you know, Mulan uses her brains? Sorry. Sorry.
It's so frustrating, dude. It's so frustrating. Because, like, again, I'm not afraid to say that, like, Mulan, like the animated film, was like one of my favorite movies growing up. I loved that movie.
It's so fun.
Like, everything about the live-action Mulan isn't. It's
like,
not fun.
It seems like they I haven't watched it yet. I'm just going based on what you told me. But it seems like they just completely missed the point of the movie. Like,
they missed the point!
Like, literally, they took the original movie and they said, okay, but... like, on every single, like, footnote, it's like, okay, so here's the part where Mulan realizes, oh, wait, I can just use strength and the friggin' things to climb the thing. It's about using my brains, not my brawn, to climb the thing and get the arrow. But what if not, though?
I forget. Like, I think the thing that really, like, absolutely fucked with me more than anything was that in this movie in particular,
Okay, my turn.
they tried, like, and I feel really bad because I can never remember how it's actually pronounced off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
It's the very particular style of Chinese cinema where they like martial arts, but they use like a lot of wire work and what like wuxia,
Wuxia or something like
wuxia,
that. Yeah.
like that. They tried to give a canonical reason for why that exists, rather than it just being a stylistic choice that exists in this film. In the film genre, like, so I'll pose this question to you just as a starting off point.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
I have not.
Okay, so with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and movies like Hero and
Tongue
House
Pal.
of a Thousand Daggers, like, well, to an extent. The idea is that in terms of how it is presented inside of the film world as it stands,
Mm-hmm.
is that with these particular films, the acrobatics that exist inside of wuxia films, in that, like, how these characters are literally like they'll take a swing of their blade and then they'll like spin and like leap gracefully up to like a second story landing, like, and then there'll be a thing where like they'll leap from like building to building, but like they're gracefully gliding. I mean, there's a whole sequence inside of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon where it's just referred to as the bamboo forest fight, where it's the two of the main characters are literally having an entire battle on top of bamboo trees, not like stalks, not like cut off bamboo, like brown bamboo, like our stick in the ground or anything. No, they're literally flying and landing on top of live bamboo trees, and they're really gracefully like landing on top of them, and they're just floating there, but like they're still making contact with the tree itself. Now inside of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, specifically, I'll say, is that the reason why they do this kind of stylistic choice with something like this was in terms of how it is described by blade masters inside of this particular universe, is that these are people who have so much control over themselves that they are just capable of shit that like normal people just can't do. But again, it's never explicitly like, there's never an explanation for that. There's never a point where somebody sits down and actually like diegetically explains why characters are able to do that. Why, a character can like do a kick backflip and land on top of a building that they were just standing next to. That doesn't need to be explained, right? That's the style of the cinema that exists. It doesn't need a reason. That's just the style that this form of cinema takes. It's like, rather than it being very aggressive and hard and rough and stuff that's seen in other types of cinema, with wuxia films, like these characters are supposed to be like abnormally graceful. Like what they're capable of doing is like it's unnatural what they're capable of, because like that's how much they've perfected their art. Watching two people, like there are several fights in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon that still to this day are like heralded as like some of the best sword fights in history.
It's as much ballet as it is.
It's absolutely ballet. It's absolutely sword-based ballet.
It's one of those things that it's meant to be interpreted, not taken literally.
Exactly. And that is what pisses me off about the live-action Mulan. Is that it explained in universe what wuxia is,
It's like if somebody took Swan Lake and had everybody still dancing and then tried to say, well, everybody is dancing, because when you are dancing, you are able to use more energy for magic to turn the princess into a swan. Or whatever. And it's like...
Uh-huh. Sure. Or, like, I guess the example that I'll give, because personally, again, anybody who knows me personally, like, knows how much I do love this. Like, I love the Nutcracker.
Mm-hmm.
I always have. It's one of my favorite, like, examples that I use whenever I talk about the Wonderland story trope. In that, main character lives in a mundane world, goes to a fantastic world that's, like, filled with all sorts of, like, supernatural blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Like,
yeah.
You get it. This would be, like... If Disney actually did this for their Nutcracker film they did a couple of years ago, I would have screamed. That's like saying the Land of the Dolls is a micro dimension. It's like, no, it's just a fantasy place.
Welcome to the quantum realm.
It's not a quantum realm. It's just fantasy. That's like explaining that Wonderland is in a pocket dimension. It's like, no, it isn't.
You accidentally
Things can just be fantasy.
You accidentally entered an Einstein-Rosen bridge when you followed that rabbit down the rabbit hole.
No!
Yes?
Painting the roses red. We're painting the roses red because red is the only color we can't perceive in this world. It's like, oh. Oh my god, the Queen of Hearts comes out, she's a fucking tardigrade. Fucking water bear. It's like, oh god. No, fucking, that's the caterpillar. The caterpillar's a tardigrade. Oh god.
Smoking the world's tiniest bong.
That's a new way of saying that, like, the least amount of sympathy. Oh, I'm smoking the world's tiniest bomb. Finally got to look at the Clifford the Big Red Dog movie. It looks interesting. No, Rox! No, Rox, don't do that to yourself. It doesn't look interesting. It looks horrifying. I agree with so many other people, which is like they look at like screenshots and even like clips from the movie. It's like, this looks like an antidepressant commercial. It looks like Clifford the Big Red Dog is like the anxiety that's just like following you around and constantly getting up in your business. Here, take these pills. Like, don't take if you're allergic. Blah blah blah. Like, that's what it looks like. It looks so weird. It looks so awkward. Like, there are so many things you could have done. Clifford the Big Red Dog did not need a live action version. It didn't.
Everything needs a live-action version.
No. He looks like a Nintendo. Yeah, he does. He does. Oh god, and I love that people were even doing like the comparisons to Kong Skull Island, where they're just like, "Oh yeah, no, you know, you think he's big now, but he's still growing," because like the Clifford that's in the movie is still like a puppy. So he's not, like, actually the biggest red dog.
It's gonna be fucking kaiju.
Like, and that's what people were saying. It's just like, yeah, no, like, people tend to forget that Clifford the Big Red Dog, like, he's a kaiju. Like, that's...
Break out the Jaegers.
Like, that's what he is. A Jaeger, the entire point of it is just to throw a tennis ball. Yeah, sure. I'd be okay with this.
Good job, Gypsy.
God.
Today, we are canceling the vet trip.
Actually, you know what? Now that we think about this out loud, can we understand how cool it would be? It was a Jaeger riding Clifford the Big Red Dog. Fucking just... Clifford's got battle armor.
Yes?
He's got a battle armor instead of saddle.
Yes. This is...
Oh my god.
This is
I'd
perfect.
be totally okay with this.
This is... Yes.
I have to look this up. I have to know if anybody's done that. Red,
Just a picture of Gypsy Danger riding atop Clifford the Big Red Dog.
big red dog. I have to know. I have to know. I doubt it, but goddamn, that would be really funny.
The ultimate crossover.
I am Optimus Prime, and you are a good doggy.
Oh my god. Hold on, I'm sending this to you and I'm posting it in then I'll post it in the chat. Oh, holy shit. Fucking
Okay.
look at this.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Why is there a bootleg Samus on his back?
Holy shit. Instead of a ball, it dives into the ocean, brings up like the Titanic. Throw it. Do it. Okay. No, now I'm curious. I see this, but I have to know like if this is actually like. I know that not everybody has like the most like fond connection to like Funko Pops and stuff like that, but I see a Clifford the Big Red Dog Funko Pop, and in my brain I'm like, tell me it's actually like a big one. Don't tell me it's like Emily Elizabeth is just really tiny next to it. It's like, no, if you want me to buy this thing, this fucker has to be like 4 feet tall. I will buy this.
That's a big
I will
Funko
buy this
Pop.
Funko Pop. I will buy this Funko Pop. I will buy this Funko Pop Clifford the Big Red Dog if this bitch is 4 feet tall.
Where would you even put it?
I'll find a place for it. I'll
Jesus.
suspend it. I'll suspend this bitch from the ceiling.
You just hang it upside down.
I mean, I currently, so my nieces recently, they were at the store and they found a KK Slider plushie and they got it for me. And he's currently just hanging from my ceiling. Right next to Isabel and right next to the plush Stitch that I got from 2016 when I was down at Disney
See,
World.
you just gave me a horrible image in my head of KK and Isabel hanging from a noose.
That's no. No, don't do that.
I don't think so.
Don't do that. Oh man, it's a regular sized Funko Pop and Emily Elizabeth is really tiny. God damn it.
Lame.
No, give me a big one. I know you make big ones. I see them.
It's amazing.
I am pretty sure you've seen Courage the Cowardly Dog, yes?
I ain't got a clue.
Have I?
Let's keep moving.
Yes.
The ether
Yeah.
cylinders are up
Yeah.
ahead. Right.
Scooby-Doo crossover with Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, I did see like sneak peeks of that.
I'm
or,
not
like, at least
sure
like
what to
teaser
think
trailers
about
of it.
it.
Neither do I.
I mean, on the one hand,
I am.
more Courage. Yay.
Yeah.
Because I really do like Courage. It was one of my favorite cartoons. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know.
I'm happy that they didn't like. I'm really glad that they did not change like art style stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm glad that they at least decided to keep that part the same. It's like, okay, cool. Because if you had changed shit like that, I have a feeling that people would have rioted.
Yeah, part of
Either
Courage's
direction.
charm. Part of Courage's charm is absolutely the art.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, the idea of a crossover between Courage and Scooby-Doo kind of reminds me of the Cartoon Network City, when that was a thing,
Oh yeah.
in all the bumpers. I miss that so much.
Mhm.
It was just so much fun watching all these characters that you would never expect to bounce off each other. Like, fucking Jimmy walking around the whole city. It's a giant game of hide and seek. And Dexter shushes fucking Plank. He's like, Plank, you're going to give us away! It's like, why? But it's
What?
so good. And like when they all had their own version of Facebook, And Mojo Jojo was friends with fucking Ed.
Okay, I might be just straight up misremembering this.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me, anybody correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Cartoon Network that had like an MMO?
Yes,
That,
they
like,
did. I think it was called
what was
Fusion
it
Frenzy.
Fusion, I think Fusion Frenzy itself was a game.
Oh,
Fusion Fall.
Fusion Fall.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Wasn't that one of those games where like
Oh yeah, that was...
all the characters had like all different art style?
Yeah.
Like very anime heavy.
Yeah. They were all very anime-esque.
I want to say that like there was like a running thing going on. Like, oh, that's what it was. Yeah, I found the image of Ed, and Eddie.
Yes.
From Fusion Fall. Like, oh boy. This is what we're going with, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But like I remember seeing like Fusion Fall like way back, and thinking to myself like, did they make this like MMO based off of a fan comic? Because there was a fan comic that had like all these Cartoon Network properties.
I feel like I know which.
sharing
I feel like I know which fan comic you're talking about. Because I had a friend who was really into it.
It was on Snafu
Yes.
Comics.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't remember what the hell it was called.
I know it was like Grim and Mandy focused.
There were... Oh, that's right! There were a bunch of them! They did a bunch of them! There was, Grim Tales.
Yes.
Powerpuff Girls D. That's what it was called. Like, yeah, they did a bunch of them. Because I remember Snafu, like, it had one guy, like, they had a bunch of different artists and whatnot, but, like, one of them in particular was just, like, went fucking all in.
Yeah.
Did one for, like, Invader Zim as well, I think. And then they had, like, an original story that wasn't based on anything in particular, but, like, referenced other properties, I think. I don't remember. It's been like years since it's even crossed my mind. But like, it's one of those things where like I look up like even promotional images of like Powerpuff Girls D and the Grim Tales from down below. I'm looking at like teasers and like posters that this person made. I'm like, if they didn't take at least a snippet of influence from this, I'd be very surprised.
Mm.
Yeah. And then apparently the artist ended up turning out not to be a great person, so whoopsies.
Yep.
Whoopsie days.
Oh no.
Internet strikes again. It's like, what? You mean to tell me that the person who draws characters like that didn't end up being a bad person? What?
That's crazy.
Who the fuck?
That's weird.
That's bonkers.
The cylinders. Hey, why do we have to come all the way here to get them? Isn't there an ether cylinder fueling station in the colony?
Well,
Foster's home for imaginary friends. God damn.
Sometimes cylinderization fails, and there are so many cylinders here for us already. It's more
Yeah,
reliable than
that
making
was
them ourselves.
a very
And Colony 9's
very fascinating show.
I mean, it is definitely fascinating. I'm sure I've shared this before. I really liked the intro movie they made, premiere movie, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Like, that was really good. And then the actual show itself was just like, okay, why do they want me to hate everyone?
Shock?
But I'll solve it one day and show
I thought these were supposed to be imaginary friends, but Blue seems more like an imaginary fucker.
Don't go trying
Yeah.
too hard.
He's such a
We
douche.
can come and get
He's
cylinders
an
whenever you
absolute
need.
shithead.
Besides, it's a good place for
Like,
defense force training.
1000%.
so good that you didn't even want to come here without Shulk to back you up.
Holy shit! Powerpuff Girls D is still fucking going.
Yep,
Jesus
all done.
Christ.
It started in 2002.
Shh, be quiet.
Fucking what?
The biggest question of the age is, what's going to take longer? That or One Piece?
Man,
I don't know, but it looks like we'll have to destroy them.
wait, what the fuck? What?
Sleeping to me.
I decided to jump to like the most recent page, and it's fucking Batman.
What?
Superman. Amazo? What the fuck is happening?
Blossom, Bubbles, Buttercup, we need your help in Gotham City. Now!
This was posted yesterday? Oh, no. It wasn't posted. Oh, sorry. It was posted 4 days ago.
Okay. Hello, Red.
Hello, Red. Talking about Batman. Talking about a fan comic about Powerpuff Girls, a bunch of other Cartoon Network properties on an old web comic site called Snafu that I read like way fucking back in the day, but I hadn't even thought about. We basically ended up like going through like 9 different like rabbit holes to get here. Kirby and I had recently just like reiterated how much the 2019 Disney Mulan live action film is just an absolute garbage fire. Again. Because Jesus Christ. Fuck. Yeah, the fan comic has been running since 2002. And it's still going. It just posted a new page like 4 days ago.
I'm fine. How
Oh my god.
I'm alright. Thanks to you and Ryan.
Utter terror.
What on Bionis were those?
Horrifying shit,
I've
dude.
never seen anything like them.
Oh, holy shit, though.
Holy goddamn shit, dude.
I think they were something left by the civilization that built this vehicle.
The
They didn't seem like Mekon to me. But why did they?
tragedy. Another one, yeah.
I don't know.
I went on another
They were probably
rant
built to protect this place.
about the same movie. The same movie that Kirby and I just lost our fucking minds about. When we was
But I don't
playing
think that's something we
Arkham
can ask.
Knight.
Please, let's go
Because,
back.
oh my god, dude.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Me neither. And we've already removed the cylinders. Huh? What's going on?
Listen, what is that?
That sound.
Maybe I'll watch Mulan tonight just so I can see how fucking awful it is.
Dude, I really, like,
In the sky.
like, get your favorite drink, get a snack,
It's up.
and just let it happen.
Yeah.
Let the first 5 minutes of the movie really sink in. Cause it's one of those. It's one of those where it starts off that ridiculous that soon. You're like, well, fuck, what?
Oh, good.
Responded to the Mekon. Let's get back to the colony.
Oh, I also saw your Twitter post about Cruella. What?
I was so angry. I was so angry when I found that out, dude. I had to do something about it.
Like, I was afraid that was exactly what they were gonna do. It's like, are they gonna come up with some fucking bullshit where a puppy killed her parents or something like that?
Yes. 3 Dalmatians pushed her mom off a cliff.
It's so stupid!
Oh my god, my friend didn't want to tell me. She was just like, I can't. I shouldn't be telling you this. And it's like, what? You have? Well, now you gotta. Come on. Like, so they made it that Cruella's mom was pushed off a cliff by Dalmatians. That I was in my office at the time, and I just screamed, they did what?
And now she is a tragic villain.
You can't have a protagonist that you hate with all your guts. You have to make sure that you feel sympathy for them, even as they literally steal, kidnap, and murder puppies.
Oh, but don't worry, Kirby! She don't do that no more. In fact...
It's an origin
In fact, she's kind of a puppy lover now.
I mean, that's what she says in the movie. Oh, yes, I love puppies. And that she plans to make a coat out of them because she loves that much. Are you trying to tell me that they're pulling a Maleficent and they are making it so that, oh no, just kidding, she's not going to murder the puppies?
Yes.
That's not what really happened. That's not the true story!
The story you know has a dark side. I fucking hate that.
How is this a dark side?
No, that's what Disney did with their Nutcracker movie.
Oh
like
god, yeah, that's right, I remember.
Has a dark side. It's like, fucking what? How? How does it have a dark side?
The dark side is that we got Morgan Freeman in this pile of shit.
And he plays a white girl's uncle. Sure! Fuck it, whatever. Because you have to, I guess. Whatever.
I don't want you to ask me how that works, but it does. I am that girl's uncle. And you're just going to have to live with that. Just like I'm going to have to live with that.
Funny thing, they're actually supposed to be doing an Ursula movie next now. Like,
oh boy, I can't wait to find out how Ursula's actually really misunderstood.
Yeah. No, King Triton is a dick.
That would be exactly the fucking same twist as Maleficent, though.
Yeah. Frogman, if they made a Hades movie, there's only one person that's allowed to play Hades, no exception. No exception. No one else is allowed.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
No. How dare you? It's James Woods or Riot.
I mean, to be fair, it's James Woods or James Woods Riots.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Like,
he would seriously show up at filming and be like, what the hell are you doing? You're making this movie without me? How do you make a Hades movie without Hades?
like, and the best part is that you know that there's just so many people.
Okay, I would actually pay to see a Hades movie with Willem Dafoe as Hades. It would be the worst thing ever, but I would watch it every day.
Actually, though.
Zeus sends him to the underworld. No, you can't do this to me. You know how much I sacrificed?
I mean, I'd be totally down for this.
Let's go! This one's mine.
Speaking of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Disney movies, why are they making a Jungle Cruise movie?
Money!
I mean, yes.
They're doing it because Pirates of the Caribbean had a movie.
Yeah, so did Lone Ranger. I mean,
It's like, oh yeah.
so did Haunted Mansion.
Oh yeah. But now Disney has stupid money. Even more stupid money.
I was gonna
So
say,
they
they've
can
always
make
had stupid money.
Well, now they have much more stupid money.
You know, I've never been on Jungle Cruise. I don't know if I'm gonna get the lore behind the movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I should find Michael, ask him.
Love to see a movie about Dr. Facilier.
You know, I would honestly like to see an origin story to Dr. Facilier.
I would absolutely. I concur.
Because I feel like he is, like, a character who could actually go through, like, a path, like, starting kind of good and then becoming more and more unscrupulous.
Yes, absolutely. He's a character that, like, because
he's a con man. he's just like a con man who gradually gets worse and more immoral over time.
Yeah.
I could see them doing that well, but at the same time, they could also do it really badly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But I feel like that might work.
I could see it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm also I'm very cautious about, like, when they do adaptational stuff like that. Because it's like, anybody who doesn't know that, like, Dr. Facilia was, like, he was based off of, like, an actual, like, folklore character that was, like, very pertinent to, like, like, that area of, like, history. Like, it has, like, I can't remember exactly what the name was supposed to be, like, what was it, Dr. No, not that.
Baron Sandy from James Bond. I mean, yeah, of the
Baron
Disney...
Semendi.
Oh, yes.
Baron Semendi, yes. That, a very particular, I'm trying to think, what was the actual, like... Haitian voodoo. He was a Haitian voodoo god. And, like, you see pictures of, like, artists' interpretations of what Baron Semendi looks like, and you're like, oh yeah, no, that is absolutely a Shadow Man. Like,
yeah.
You look at it, the top hat, the face paint, like the purple and black suit attire, like it's absolutely yes. So I feel like if they were going to do something, I think the problem is that when you have a character that's so, like, very much based off of this kind of, like, folklore characterization,
yeah,
you start to really ask yourself the question of, like, how far into this inspiration do we lean?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's kind of one of those things where, depending on how you do it, it's going to be fairly tricky to do, because given the subject matter by which he is born from, like he's one of the gods of Haitian voodoo. So, like, keep in mind, it's like it's voodoo. So, like, that in and of itself comes with a very, very, very twisted sense of, like, how they function in that view.
Yeah. Oh, Red.
How far into Disney go?
If you want an origin story for Dr. Robotnik, the British Sonic the Comic had one.
Oh my god, that's right.
He got fused with the dark energy of the Chaos Emeralds and a rotten egg by accident. The same accident that turned Sonic blue! Because Sonic used to not be blue. He used to be a regular brown-spined hedgehog.
Brown hedgehog.
But
brown
then he went too fast and turned blue.
Except apparently, didn't he technically wasn't he already fast before he turned blue?
Yeah, he was already fast, but then Dr. Robotnik built him shoes that would let him go even faster.
That's what it was.
And then he went too fast. I remember reading that, and I was just...
That's right. Oh no! I forgot. This is also the comic where they decided to reveal what Sonic's real name was. Because it wasn't Sonic, it was something else.
Oh god, that's right. What the fuck was it? I can't remember.
It's fucking Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog.
I would go by Sonic 2. If that were my...
And that Sonic 2, that one comes with Tails.
If that were the name my parents blessed me with, yeah, I would probably also
Maurice.
change it to something. Man, imagine that universe. Alright, I can't wait to play Maurice Adventure 2 Battle. Maurice Colors.
They changed it in the Archie comics where Maurice was the grandfather of Sonic. Okay.
Maurice Generations.
And was father of either Jules and Charles Hedgehog or Bernadette Hedgehog.
The thing that I find entertaining about the British Sonic the Comic, though, is that Sonic's an ultra dick.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody's like, oh man, Super Sonic in the British comic is evil, but like, Sonic himself is also just a colossal douche.
Yeah.
He's like always picking on Tails.
I like how I'm looking all this information up and it led me to Reddit to the r/today I learned. And it's like, hey, I learned that Sonic's real name is Ogilvy Maurice the Hedgehog, and one of the comments is terrible name for Sonic's a terrible name for Hedgehog, as is Maurice. Second comment down, I bet he named his hedgehog Commissioner Gordon. You know what? Sure. Fuck it, why not? Here we are.
Batman the Echidna.
I'd be okay with this. This is fine. Oh god.
That reminds me that the American Archie comic crossed over with the Marvel Universe at least once.
At least once or twice, yeah.
Yeah, and like fucking Robotnik Galactus.
The idea of that alone instills fear into everybody.
Get a load of this!
As he just consumes the planet. Speaking of crossovers, I do have to admit, I don't know if we talked about this in the last stream or if I just talked about this with somebody else, but like, I keep forgetting how unironically great the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover with Batman was.
Yes.
Oh my god. Like, fuck. Great. Thank you.
Batman eats the pizza.
Yeah, it's pizza time.
Words that you had no idea you needed to hear Batman say.
Oh no, there's one word he says.
Mm-hmm.
There's one word he says that that nobody on the planet Earth realized they needed Batman to say.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga. What? Cowabunga? He then just gets nailed by Raphael. Take that, you fucking shredhead! That's what I want. Allow Raphael to say fuck at least once. Least!
He does it in the new Nickelodeon Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
You have to enter in his secret cheat code.
That's like 20 button inputs long.
But if you do it right, and you do it all in 5 seconds, Raphael says the fuck word.
Yes.
I hope nobody gets tired of hearing Ryan tell everybody what a bunch of jokers the people we just murdered are.
Never change.
Let's show him a thing or three!
Did we?
Yeah.
What did we show them?
A thing or three? How to murder Verdant Bluchel with a chain attack. There we go. Oh no. The whole city's on fire!
God damn it.
I find it interesting how much, like... You know how it kind of seems like the narrative to some games changes over time? Like, once upon a time, Thousand Year Door was, like, the best Paper Mario game, and nowadays people are kind of, like, not so hot on it, especially with how obnoxious Thousand Year Door fans can be after the more recent Paper Marios. There's been, like, a lot of pushback on Sonic 06. People are saying it's not that bad a game anymore, and it's like...
I get comments on that pretty regularly.
And it's like... No, it kind of objectively is. From a technical standpoint, it's abysmal. Now, if you're able to find fun in the game, sure, whatever, man, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll play a bad game just because it's funny, but Sonic 06... Like, it's...
I mean, that's what we're doing right now. I'm totally...
How dare!
Stream just ends.
Like,
yeah,
Zero
no, like,
Kirby stream Civil War.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I find it interesting that, like, more and more people are like, yeah, no, Sonic 06 is good. And it's like...
I look at it, granted, again, I very much have, like, a very particular perspective on it because of the weird history I now have with it.
Yeah, I mean,
but
yeah.
It's interesting for me because of how there are people who come, especially to my channel, and they'll have like an interesting perspective on something. Like they'll come in and they'll say, so get this. This was actually something that just happened the other day.
Yeah.
Where somebody actually had bumped in and made the comment on I'll say this first about Sonic Forces and then I'll get to Sonic 06.
Mm-hmm.
Where somebody had made the connection that the way I had restructured Infinite in Sonic Forces was they were making connections and saying like, oh, so it's like the gems from Steven Universe. And I had to openly write, I kind of copy-ish pasted previous comments that I'd said to somebody else, where I said, you're not alone in that connection. I've had a few people made that realization in that similarity. It's total happenstance. Like, this was not done intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
But what it comes down to is what I refer to as function of characterization, right? Like the gems of Steven Universe, like they're people. Like, yeah, we understand that they're extraterrestrials and whatnot, but they're people. They act like people. They have emotions. They have they have a personality. Like that's what they are. The way I had done Infinite in this was different because it was like I wanted to make him like a true honest to God machine.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make him like he functions as binary. You know, the reason why he only speaks in 5-word sentences is because it's like writing a code in a God bless you.
Yeah.
It's like writing a code in a computer program. If you can make a code that is short and efficient, it's going to want to prioritize that because it takes less energy to execute. So the idea that he only speaks in short bursts elevates that idea. That he's literally reserving energy by only needing to get out what needs to be said.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the whole process behind that sort of thing. I didn't sneeze.
Yeah, that was me.
That was not me, Red. But this being said, like, and I'm glad that I'm now having a conversation with that person, being like, yeah, no, I get that. Like, they made the connection and they made a comment about it, and I guess people are not always like, people are not always aware that I'm going to like suddenly jump in with like a thesis.
Dang, I thought nobody read the comments.
But we had somebody from 2 weeks ago who left a comment that just said, they start off by quoting something that I said in the video. Unfortunately, this person doesn't use any punctuation, so it kind of runs on. So I'll break it down what they were getting at. What I said in the video was Mephiles is an uninteresting antagonist.
There's still the mobile artillery.
What they then comment afterwards is, well, safe to say you haven't seen the Mephiles explanation videos and see below the lines, but that's just an opinion.
What? What?
I think what they're trying to get at was that there have been a lot of people who have done like character breakdowns on like Mephiles and, you know, like how they function as a villain inside of the original Sonic 06 story.
Yeah.
And I understand what they're getting at, but I think the problem that they have with leaving a comment like this is that it doesn't necessarily like it absolutely kind of feels very directed. That they're just being like, oh, well, I guess you just like, it's the same thing. I've gotten comments from people which is like, wow, I guess you haven't read the comics. You haven't read the comics and found out this information about so and so forth then. And I said, and I've had to say to these people, I said, okay, but like, you have to remember that the comics are not canon to the story that I'm doing like a reworking of.
And also neither are these breakdown videos, which are done by fans
they're speculation.
They're speculation, and not only that, they're biased speculation. Like, everybody's gonna have a bias of some kind when they talk about things. It's just the nature of talking about things.
Yeah, if you like this game, then you're going to want to, like, you know, defend it. Absolutely. Like, the fact that I'm making a video that talks about the Klonoa series, even though I know that there aren't a terrible amount of people who know of or care about what Klonoa is, but the reason why I want to talk about it is because, to me, this game series is very important. I had it growing up, and it's one of those things where when I go back and watch it or play it again, I suddenly, like, now that I've been so focused on story development stuff for so many years now, I've picked up on a lot of these interesting cues that the game has done that I realized that, for me personally, is what made it so impactful. Like, yes, the way that how the first game ends and how it translates into the next game, it's very intentional how they did it, why it did it, and, get this, what it means to the world in which all of this takes place in across the series as a whole. Do I realize that, like, yeah, not everybody's going to be like super down or interested in that sort of thing? Yeah. But I'd like to get it out of my head. And just get it out of my head so it's no longer just constantly taking up space in my brain. Just having that ability to say, like, you know what, now that I've done this, I can now point to this and say, here's the thing that I did. That's how I feel about my Secret of Nim video that I did. Like, I look back on that, and I stay to this day, that is still one of my absolute most favorite videos I've ever done. Just period. Because it was like, this was an idea that I had back in middle school.
Yeah.
And has just been bouncing around in my head ever since then. So it's cool to now have something that I can point at and be like, this is what I would do. If somebody came to me, sat me down and said, hey, we want to turn this into this, and we want you to, like, help showrun, or at least help do this, that, or whatever, I would literally tell them, it's like, this is what I would do. this is how I would, if I was asked to remake this movie or adapt the book, I would comfortably look you in the face and tell you what I would do is just straight up like take both the movie that was based on the book and the book that inspired the movie, and I would put them together. I would just put them together. Because to me, because to me, both of those things are incredibly important. Both, like how Don Bluth adapted the book for his movie is incredible, but how the book itself has its own identity that like still manages to stand tall even after its adaptation is what makes it important. And that's what I would want to make sure that we keep around. I wouldn't want to change that. So, like for me, it's wanting to make sure that we keep these sort of things like cohesive. Keep these things that have that level of connection. Because again, how you adapt something, how you take it and work it into something else, is what's going to make it like stand out, make it unique, make it something that allows it to have a different identity. And that's what the original Secret of NIMH movie did. So, getting back to it, it is fascinating to see people who comment on something like Sonic 06. And don't get me wrong, I am absolutely touched that there are people who do get such a kick out of what we did with that video. But similarly, so this was something that I got from I and again, sorry, I keep getting distracted, but like the thing that makes it so interesting is the fact that like there are people who come to the channel itself or the video in question, and they'll actually say, "I would have done it like this." I'm like, yes, absolutely. Cool. Yeah. I would love to, show me what else you do.
That is why we are here.
Please give me another reason for that. Like, nothing makes me happier than when you got people who just have these huge, long, just enormous back and forwards about with me or even with other people being oh, what if we did this, what if you did this instead, and then somebody else chimes in oh, it'd be really cool if you did this too. That's the kind of stuff that I love.
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that I absolutely get a kick out of.
Yes.
But again at the same time, I do realize that there are people who, yeah, they absolutely have a very particular soft spot for this game. Maybe they had it when they were really young. Maybe they had it, this, that, or whatever it could potentially be. Everyone's got a game that's like that.
Yeah.
It is always just really interesting to hear people who come in, and again, I feel bad because it's very clear when there are individuals who show up and they clearly don't have the same
critical thinking ability.
It's the fact that you can tell that they're here to throw hands. Yeah. They think that because I'm doing a video on something that I must hate it. Mm-hmm. And that's the part that always gets a little, it gets frustrating when that happens, because I am all for having a conversation. I will absolutely love to sit down and have a conversation with anybody who comes and they want to have just a dialogue about whatever this potentially could be. Cool, awesome, great. But at the same time, it's a tricky situation to be in when you want to make sure that I want to address the ideas that they're coming up with and be okay, let's talk about that. you know, you say like here, there was this person right here from a year ago. Personally, I like the story, but I'm really glad that like this could actually be like a reboot of the series. Like, yeah, there are going to be people who see any reworked version story that I do, and they're allowed. They are absolutely allowed to want to stand their ground on something. One of my favorite comments I ever got was on my Seeker of Nim video, where somebody straight up said, "Dude, I was so ready to rip your head off." It's like, oh, and I like, of course, when you read that, you're just like, oh, Jesus Christ, why? Like, what happened? Like, why you gonna kill me?
You bad man, say bad thing about my movie.
And what she had eventually ended up saying, yeah, this is what Lauren said. She says, "I'm not gonna lie, I thought for sure I would hate this video. There was fan rage and everything upon seeing the screenshot." And then she says to like her internal thought of being like, "This is one of my favorite films of all time. Don Bluth is the best. How dare you?" And like you get the idea. And she says, "I was always of the opinion that, you know, certain story elements that happened were like happened at this direction, happened in this direction, so on and so forth, so on and so forth." I had to make sure that I started off my comment by saying like, or my reply to them being like, "Okay, I'm glad that you were willing to defend the story that you hold so near and dear to your heart. Believe me, I know all too well about wanting that sensation to stand up and be like, okay, now hold on a damn minute." When somebody starts talking negatively about like a personal favorite of yours, right? This is the exact reason why I had to start the video off being like, "Listen, this movie is one of my favorite movies like ever. Like ever. Because I had a sneaking suspicion somebody would be willing to kick the door in and lay the beat down on me." And like, so like in having this conversation with this person back and forward, talking about like, listen, like how we function and we look at stories that we enjoy, right? Like that's what makes it unique. That's what makes it so interesting. See you later, Rox.
Adios.
You have a different opinion than me, therefore I must hate this and fight you over it. Yeah, there are people who do that still, even to this day. There are people who show up and they throw, like, it does personally hurt whenever I get the comment from somebody that says something to the avail of just like, "This is stupid and you're stupid, this is never gonna work." And they're like, "Okay, could you elaborate?"
Ryan's right. You can't
Like,
go
if
on
you
like this.
if you're going to say this, could you please like go into what about this you feel doesn't work? Because I want to have this be an open discussion.
Nope, you're just wrong, because I said so. I know you made a 2-hour video about this thing and explained it in great detail, but I don't have to.
Yeah. I don't have time for this. Oh, okay. Sure, fine, fucking... Sorry, I guess I won't...
Yeah, you better be.
Now it's shulk time.
Dang. That's what they should call it. It's not bullet time. It's not vision time. It's shulk time.
What the? Wow, shot's pretty awesome. How could this be? Shulk is using the Monado.
What was that? Shulk! More company!
Ryan. Right.
Ryan!
Where the hell did he get that sword from?
I got your back. Shulk.
He just pulls it out of nowhere.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
But there was something strange.
Had it.
Just now.
Mm.
It was as if I could see. into
Don't
the
ask
future.
where.
Is this another power of the Monado?
See into the future? What are you saying? Are you certain, Shulk?
Yes.
I see.
I see some weird guy in a weird blue suit He keeps saying he's gonna show people a thing or three.
Ignore him. Don't look at him.
He's not important, joke! There's this other person with cat ears and a yellow jumpsuit. They seem way more interesting.
Everybody leans over and like, far more interesting. Focus on that one.
Yes,
This
good
is
joke.
called character development.
Wait a minute, what's that? Are you saying I should have a protagonist that actually grows and evolves over the game?
If you can. Like, again. This is not to say that every character, specifically a protagonist, needs to grow like exponentially in every story that ever exists. That is not to say that. You can have stories where you have a main character that sticks their guns the entire way through. That's fine. You can do that. I mean, goddamn, on the topic of previous conversation, it's literally what happens in The Secret of Nim.
Mm-hmm.
Both the book that it was based off, as well as the movie itself. The main character, she doesn't really change. She basically is very unapologetically stubborn. It's like, listen, Dick, I will die for my family. And if I die for them, that means that's going to be on your conscience now. What are you going to do about it? Fuck, she's right. Shit. I guess we should help him. But the problem with Rex is that he's just so, like... He doesn't have an arc that works to growing, especially given everything that happens.
Yeah, the issue is that it's very much a game that kind of demands that sort of arc. Just due to everything else that happens, because literally everyone else has an arc.
And there's some characters that have such an incredible arc as well.
Nia, what?
Fucking Nia has, God, Jesus, man, like, give us a game that just is about Nia, like, yeah.
But, like, the closest they get to an interesting, like, evolution of Rex's character is that bit where it's in his mind and all the party members are like, Rex, you brought us on this gigantic waste of time and all of our friends are dying. Thanks a lot, Rex. But that all happens inside Rex's mind and nobody ever brings it up again.
Nope.
Ever.
Nope. Why would they? Nope.
It's like, dang, I wish Rex could have, like, actually said, oh my god, guys, I am sorry if you guys think I'm just some dumb child trying to find Elysium.
Maybe I am.
Yeah, maybe I am. But you know what? We are here now. But no, Instead it's just, oh yes, that was all in your mind. Those are your thoughts. That's what you think they think. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, that's kind of interesting, but, like, can we talk about this?
Yeah. Or when Rex purposely friendzoned Nia, I will never fucking forgive I will never fucking forgive that dickhead for doing that.
I love you too, Nia. And all you guys.
Like,
I
remember, like, all of us were just like, ah! Are you shitting me?
Yep.
You friend-zoned this?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
You dick!
For the lady who straight up betrayed you.
Yeah. God damn it, dude.
For the lady who's two ladies.
Yeah. Technically.
And oh boy, you get to have both at the end of the game. Great. Thanks.
I still don't understand how or why that happened at the end.
It's never explained. It is also.
Is
It's also just like. I hate it because like. In the previous chapter, there's that whole conversation with Zeke about like, oh yeah, people trade blades for a variety of reasons, including this that we're just gonna bring up. Good. And oh cool, we're going to have our protagonist be like a harem anime protagonist, and we're gonna talk about that? Why?
Because Japan.
Yeah,
Japan.
but like...
Because
no!
Because Japan has a way of writing a character.
They need to find a better way. Collectively, the country as a whole.
Yeah. Sorry. On the topic of Japan, I need to talk about this. I have to. So the Japanese Summer Olympics are right around the corner, right?
Yes.
And so, in case people didn't know this, there is currently a thing going around where the accommodations that are given to the Olympic athletes are as follows. They will be staying in semi-isolated accompaniments, rooms that are very, very simplistic, comfortable but very simplistic. The beds, in particular, this is amazing. The beds are made of cardboard, and they will be recycled at the end of the games. They can only hold on, don't get ahead of me. They can only support the weight of one person. The beds are built so that they will break if there's any sudden aggressive movement.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So here's a
Uh-huh.
here's a fun thing for people who don't know this about the Olympic Games. They are so there's the games that they play for everyone, the sports in which they do. But there's also a fun it's a secret to everybody kind of thing that happens at the Olympic Games. But very simplistically, they fuck like crazy. The Olympic Games
Talk about passing the torch.
have something's burning. To give you an idea of how fun this shit is, it's fucking hilarious. Because during the Rio de Janeiro games, there was a condom shortage. There were so many condoms bought in Rio within such a short time span that literally the entire city and outlying cities had no sexual protection methods and wouldn't until I think it was 2 months after the games had ended.
Jesus.
And the thing is that when you think about it, you're like, no, it makes sense. Think about it for a second.
Yeah.
A bunch of very attractive, super athletic, very super muscular, top of their game, peak physical condition, all these people in one place.
Yep.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah. They got busy!
Japanese Olympic Council is we have the perfect deterrent. Anti-fucking beds. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
Make sure
I've
you
lost
use
my
protection.
shit.
Sleep in a cardboard bed.
That can only support one person, and it'll break if you do rumpy pumpy on it.
Now,
Think about that.
Here's the question: support one person, like one person in terms of like how much weight, though, because some of those people.
Ask this question.
Some of those people are fairly tiny.
Don't worry, Kirby.
Due to the nature of the sport that they play.
Right, but let me ask you this question. What about the weightlifters?
Well, yeah.
The opposite side of the coin, right?
Yeah. Like, where do they get to sleep?
Get this, Kirby.
Oh.
Get a load of it. Get a load of this shit.
Oh.
People who weigh closer to the events of approaching 300 pounds get to sleep on the floor.
This is quite a conversation to have while Fiora gets murdered.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is fine. Fiora!
Can we talk about how much blood she had? Look how much blood she had!
She had a lot of blood.
God, Jesus.
She must have had some fruit gushers in her pockets or something. But yeah, the Olympics in Japan have drawn a lot of criticism. Because they are happening.
Yeah.
In the midst of current world events.
Whoopsies. Especially since Japan's is constantly kind of fluctuating in terms of how bad their situation is.
Yeah.
That's the part that's the most upsetting, really. I know of people who do live in Japan, and they'll talk to me about it every once in a while. They'll say things like the thing that they tell me, it's the thing that sucks more than anything is that there are times where everything points to things being on the decline. Everything's getting back to normal, and then there's just one fucking thing that just sends everything back into lockdown. Because unfortunately, Japan is one of those countries where it's they need to make sure that they stay on top of shit.
It's so densely populated.
It's so densely populated, but also because Japan has always been one of those countries that takes personal illness very seriously. You have a slight cold,
wear a mask,
and you have shit that you have to do. You're still gonna go do the things you need to do, but you wear a mask. There are people who aren't even sick and will wear a mask out of courtesy to other people because that's how much they want to showcase how much they give a damn about the people that they have to be around. It's important. But just
it's interesting that they're having so much trouble with it.
Especially given how let us remember that Japan is one of those countries that is rocked by natural disasters constantly, and in less than a month they're back to normal.
Yeah.
They had what was it, back in 2013 or something like that? A giant sinkhole appeared in the middle of Tokyo, or a city outside Tokyo. That went 100 feet down, and 3 weeks later, and it was a main road, right at an intersection, very densely populated area. 3 weeks later, back to normal. Everything's put right back where it was.
It's so peaceful.
They not only did they just fill the sinkhole in, they filled it with material that would prevent future sinkholes from happening. Yes. Yes, please.
My brother is in Japan.
Yes.
He works as a teacher, and he travels between multiple schools. He's in a more rural area, but the vaccine is moving so slowly out there, he likely won't get it until December of next year.
Yeah.
Even though he is a teacher and has to interact with large groups of people as his job.
It's his job.
Yeah, it's you know,
Even without the
it's,
Nardo.
it's just kind of weird that it would take that long
For
for
a country like Japan that is like hyper efficient.
yeah to get the vaccine out, to get this incredibly valuable resource out.
But
Especially since, you know, we don't seem to be struggling with it as much in America anymore. At least where I work, we always seem to have
Yeah,
plenty
same
of
here.
it. We never have to worry
Yeah.
about it.
Well, I have to worry about it kind of for me personally,
well, I mean,
because I was given the wrong one apparently.
yeah. I mean, like where I work, we basically always have it in stock. We're always distributing it like every day. We had like a surge this last week, weirdly enough. But other locations, they also seem to always have it in stock. The only one that we don't really seem to have in stock is the Johnson & Johnson one, funnily enough.
Do you hear about the next wave of like uncomfortable news that we had about the Johnson & Johnson?
I have not, actually.
Apparently now people who get it are now apparently susceptible to have like nerve damage.
Jesus.
It's like I that popped up it popped up on like the Twitter, like Johnson & Johnson popped up on Twitter, and I just went, oh fuck me. Now what? God, no, please, God, just let it stop. Like let me read what it was.
It is so astonishing how much this one vaccine, like the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, have had like almost no issues. Like I think a couple people got sick from the Moderna, but like this Johnson & Johnson vaccine, like it almost seems to be causing more damage than what it's supposed to keep you from getting sick from.
I swear to fucking God. Yeah, okay, yeah. From Forbes back on the 12th, Johnson & Johnson vaccine could raise a risk for rare neurological disorder.
So you agree?
Good.
Of course, man.
Great.
Apparently, it's known as Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Yes.
That's not what Fiora would want.
Yes. We actually have like on our vaccines, like
In my head,
on our vaccine forms that you have to like fill out and sign. Like that's actually one of the that's actually one of the syndromes that we check for if you're getting certain vaccines, like shingles. The shingles vaccine, we ask if you have,
and it won't stop getting louder.
and also other live vaccines. Live vaccines in particular. That's one of the questions: is do you have Guillain-Barré syndrome?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I like how on the Forbes thing is talking about.
Right now.
So out of the 12 million J&J doses administered in the U.S., about 100 cases of Guillain-Barré syndrome have been identified.
Yeah.
So is it minute? Yes. Do the
But
majority of the people, such as myself, who did get J&J, realistically not really have to worry about it? Kinda.
but if you
But I
know
like
what
that
it
they
is,
Now
It's-
you can't help but start. Now anytime you feel like, anytime I feel like my hand like tingle. Like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
Granted, at the moment my hands are sunburnt, so fuck.
yeah, basically always.
So now everything's on fire. But I like how they say here it's just like it's a causes one immune system to damage nerves, muscle damage. They say, but most people will fully recover in a period ranging from a few weeks to a few years. Thank heavens!
Great.
It's like, don't worry, your package will be shipped within the next week or year.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I bought food.
I think that's as good a place as any to call Xenoblade for the night.
You want to jump over to something else?
Probably not. Probably just gonna call it.
That brief moment where just, like both of us are just like, could we?
Because I genuinely don't know what else to play. Because I have way too many things on my plate.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good enough place to call Xenoblade for now.
That's a shame for the night. We're glad that you're here, Frogman.
Absolutely 110,000%.
Absolutely and always. Hey, how are you playing this game on the internet when you're in airplane mode? Bullshit! I call bullshit.
That's actually a really good question because I am using a wireless controller.
Does
Wait.
wireless not?
Airplane mode doesn't work when it's docked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it actually does turn off airplane mode when you're docked. That's right. It's an airplane. It's an airplane mode because I was recently on an airplane.
That makes sense.
Haven't played the Switch since getting off the airplane.
There you go. So Mulan, Killer Puppies, Powerpuff Girls, DC, anti-fuck beds, and vaccine talk.
Anti-fuck beds. While we had that discussion while Schultz's girlfriend was murdered right in front of him.
Yeah! Yo, these beds can't be fucked in though. And apparently, I did look it up, and apparently the reason why the beds are built that way is because they're made to be customizable. So if you're longer, you can reorient them so that way they can be made to be longer. Or if you apparently now that you look into it, you're like, oh, and if you are a heavier set person, the under cavity of the bed itself is built to have a structure where you can add supports to it. And again, all of it is recyclable. But it's just really funny how one of the things that they talk about, is just like, and if there's any sudden movement, it'll break. And it can only support one person.
God, I hope none of them have restless leg syndrome.
Fuck. Achoo!
God damn it! There goes a bed.
Damn it.
Never mind. Have you ever heard of Dahir InShot?
It sounds familiar.
Dahir InShot is like some weird patenting company that like has all these bizarre patents that range at bizarre and useless patents, I should say, that range from like fully automated restaurants to like fucking tactical drones hidden in food trucks.
What?
Yeah, no, it's a wild ride. But one of them is a bed that if it detects an earthquake, it just seals you in a steel coffin, basically.
Oh, good.
With there is ventilation that you can get covered with like fire protection so that you can't breathe anymore, and there are supplies that you can't reach because they're under the mattress that you are now trapped on top of.
What is this called?
Dahir InShot. I'll just send you a link to the particular video that I'm talking about.
Please send this to me, because like now Red saying that they've seen it, and like now I'm curious and confused and kind of scared.
You know what? Actually, I'm just gonna I'll just play it in. Well, actually, no, because it's commented over by Retsupre, the particular video I'm gonna send you. But I'll just send you the playlist.
Yeah, I got it. Because let me tell you, like being in bed and having an earthquake go on, like that's kind of scary.
Yeah,
that's kind of scary for me. But let me tell you, I am not somebody who I don't love the idea of being in bed and feeling a little rumble and then waking up in a coffin.
Yeah. Like
that doesn't sound good to me.
Actually, wait, let me see if I can find the original video of the Dahir InShot bed. It might be on YouTube, and we could just watch it. Dahir, well, it is one of the things that Okay, I found it. I'm just gonna play it in the fucking stream. So here we go. Let me see. if I can do this. Yeah, okay.
Saw the one of the woman who's like up on the higher platform. It just drops straight down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, how quick she goes down. Holy shit.
Oh, here we go. So I'm just gonna...
The second comment, and after 2 minutes, it pops you back up, perfectly toasted on both sides.
So I'm gonna play this video.
Here we go, everybody.
We're gonna have a...
Oh my
Oh god, it's loud.
Tremors in various parts of the world. The vast majority of these tremors are so slight that we don't even notice them. But all it takes is one earthquake in a city to put hundreds of thousands.
If somebody has sex in the bed, one person's getting decapitated,
One of the main causes
Red.
of death during an earthquake is the destruction of buildings.
Look at this fucking...
The earthquake happens while people are asleep in their beds. For people living in seismically active regions, Dahir in chat has developed the Earthquake Safety Bed, which instantly transforms into a shelter during the first underground tremors of
look at that!
Let's see how it's made.
Ah!
A frame made of metal pipes containing a composite mass provides the design with necessary rigidity. This allows the bed to maintain its shape beneath falling debris and protect its human occupant from harm. If necessary, the frame can be made out of other materials, like carbon pipes, for example. The bed is equipped with vibration and safety sensors. The vibration
so don't worry.
calibrated to
There are safety sensors so you can't get decapitated.
The security sensors, on the other hand, prevent
But then if there's an earthquake, oh no, your safety bed doesn't work anymore.
When the device activates, the mattress descends, and the person is enclosed in a protected space. A lid
Like, look at all these freaky ass, like...
It's how quickly she drops. I can't take
like,
it, dude.
And there's so many friggin' designs. Like, how many beds did they come up with?
And I say, like, all of these are concept, right? Like, they're like none of these actually exist.
Yeah, these are just concepts. I don't think they've ever built one.
Yeah.
Like I said, these guys have all sorts of weird fucking patents. Like, they have one for capillary surgery, right?
Yeah.
To prevent a heart attack. Here's how it works. They drill into your fucking vein with this micro drill, okay? And it's like this extendable drill that will cut all the plaque away. But in order to do this, they inflate a balloon in this thing on both sides of where they're drilling to block the blood flow. So to help keep you from getting a stroke or a heart attack, they give you a stroke or heart attack while they're cutting away at this plaque. And it doesn't explain where the plaque goes after they drill it away either.
Yeah. They're just, what if we just take the plaque and put it somewhere else? Like, the only bed out of all of this that I look at and think to myself that it could actually function, like, build quality as well as, like, just, like, build ability, I guess is the right way of thinking about it, is... The one where they don't drop down. It's the one where they're already in kind of like a cubicle. And
yeah.
It comes down on top and just kind of puts them in a shell. That's the only one that I would imagine that would get past like any testing. Because let me tell you, like, anybody who knows the sensation and I love the fact that they also throw in this quote unquote like real time footage.
Yeah. Also, how do you get a mattress to bend like that?
I would imagine. Well, Murphy beds. That's how Murphy beds work.
Oh, well, all right.
I know this because I work at a furniture store.
Fair enough.
So for Murphy beds, for people who don't know, are essentially like your guest beds. Those are the ones that like they exist in a chest and they're meant to be like rolled out.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Rolled out twice. That's a Murphy bed.
Okay.
So typically what it is that if it bends in the threefold like that, it just means that the upper layer, the one that you're making contact with, is one sheet, but it's technically 3 separate mattresses: a thin one, a medium-sized one, and a thin one.
Mm-hmm.
That way, it's able to fold up as it flies down. Yeah, so like that. If they didn't allow the mattress to bend like that, it would like the likelihood is you probably wouldn't drop.
Yeah.
The other thing that sorry, like that other one right there, the one where it's like it's upright and then it kind of like closes down almost like a piano lid on both sides.
Yeah.
That one again, that is the least amount of like energy that would need to be built on that one. Even the one that has like the roof like that shutters over. That one I could also see theoretically where to get.
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
you're in a really weird bed.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
absolutely.
we were just talking about anti-fuck beds.
Yeah. This is anti-fuck bed, as well as being I need to kill the person I was sleeping with really quickly.
Yeah.
Bed. Bed. But the thing is that if anybody here knows about the fun sensation of, when you're having a dream and you're falling in your dream.
Yes.
And you sort of like kick yourself awake.
Yes.
That becomes 1,000 times more like horrifying when it is physically happening.
Yes.
Imagine laying on your bed and suddenly the foundation of your bed just gave out.
Yeah.
You would not only wake up, but you'd wake up with your brain activity in fight or flight mode.
You would slam your head on the ceiling.
Yeah, like your like, yeah, the fact that sensation of you falling is what can only be described as a universal fear when unprovoked. Like, you can have people who love skydiving and base jumping and all that jazz. Like that's fine. That's cool. That's dandy. Like, you can absolutely get a kick out of that. When it is unprovoked, there is a drive inside of the brain of a human being that immediately fires into I must protect myself. It does not matter how tired you are. It does not matter how deep in sleep you are. If you like, I absolutely welcome anybody try this shit if they have the ability to. Get a hammock, have it up, fall asleep in it, and then have somebody just cut the ropes. Doesn't matter if you cut both of them or one of them. That sensation of you falling, even like a foot, is going to make it feel like you are in full-on war fighting mode.
There's a reason they use it as the kick in
Inception.
Yeah.
That sensation of falling is a universal fear when unprovoked.
Like, straight up, I've had really vivid nightmares before of like falling. And
yeah,
one of them is like I'm in a car and I hit like the ramp and I go up and then I start going down. Every time that happens, like, I basically bolt straight up.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a horrifying feeling.
Because it's just like your body immediately goes into, okay, we gotta get head up, feet down. We gotta get upright so that we don't land on our head.
Exactly.
So
your body and your brain are built for this specific purpose.
Mm-hmm.
To correct yourself when engaged in a sudden shift in velocity, I guess is a way you can think about it.
So I get the feeling that with these beds, as soon as they're activated and you drop into that coffin, you're going
to have a fucking panic attack.
And you're going to slam your head on the ceiling.
Which I guess would knock you out.
Yeah.
Which I guess would be a good thing, given the fact that your building that you were just sleeping in is, I guess, falling apart.
But then you...
Oopsies.
But then you suffocate.
And you, like, yeah, who knows? Like, that's the one thing that I'm very, like, wary of. Like, what is your comfort level? Like, how do you know, like, what is the guarantee that you could give me that there's going to be oxygen?
They never explain how to get out of it either.
Go in. Yeah. Don't worry. Help will arrive when it can get to you. Thank goodness for that.
We have all this water underneath the mattress that you are now trapped on top of.
I can't imagine that. Because
they even show the thing where it's like, oh yeah, we got these vents, but then it literally shows an animation of them being wrapped in anti-fire material.
Yeah.
You know, stuff that's meant to keep oxygen from getting into places so that things don't catch fire.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. It's horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to feel about it. It makes me very anxious.
Like I said, they did like another one where it's like a semi that hides a quadcopter. Like the semi just builds the quadcopter within itself, and it also has like escape motorcycles for the drivers. And it's just a drone with a gun or a missile launcher attached to it. And it just flies up into the sky. And it blows up whatever the fuck you want it to blow up. And it's also super a war crime.
Mm-hmm. I love how in this playlist, there's the restaurant, earthquake bed, drive-through market, and then there's just message to Vladimir Putin.
Yeah. Oh my god. And the drive-through market. Literally. A market that you drive your car into, and you drive up to a stall, and it's this gigantic rotating thing. You like push a button, and it's like, okay, here's the bread shelf, here's the fruit shelf, and it's the worst, and it's super freaking slow, and it's indoors, so everybody's getting carbon monoxide poisoning. Yeah. And then like it also shows like how everything gets sorted into those shelves. And it's still like people like having to sort things on a thing and then put them on a conveyor belt, which messes everything up so that somebody else can sort them again and put them onto the shelves.
This doesn't work.
It's so stupid. And it's like, oh, cool. And it's like you go to the store. Oh, dang, my shopping trolley accidentally crashed into somebody else's shopping trolley. Darn, what a problem. You go to this store. Oh, shit. My Jeep just crashed into your Nissan. We have to trade insurance information now.
God, I now love that the recommendations that it's giving me are like what one of them is just a thing that just says Kickstarter non-starters. And one of the first things I see is just something that says cage hat.
Yes, the cage hat. Yes. Kickstarter non-starters is a Red Supre thing, and like they did so many.
Can we talk about what this looks like?
Yeah.
That's a Big Daddy. That's a Big Daddy from BioShock.
It's for football players.
No, that's for stealing children. That's for going deep into ocean.
The video is literally like people shoving this guy who is wearing the cage hat.
Kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah, kicking the shit out of him. And also, I'm pretty sure they take a baseball bat to him at one point.
He even does a handstand at one point. Or a headstand, I guess.
But yeah, it's for football players. To protect their heads.
Do they not realize that, like, I get the purpose. I get it. It is absolutely, like, it's great that they're trying to come up with something that allows the brains of American football players to be like less damaged from impact. But do they not realize that by making the cage hat the way that they did, it fundamentally breaks how you play football? You can't move in this thing. It's massive. It's the size of a diving bell. Like, that's going to make things worse. That implements so many other like horrifying ways for shit to go wrong.
And it's got to be heavy. Heavy
what
as
if
hell.
It breaks?
Yeah.
Like, the way that football helmets are made is that even if they break, they don't break catastrophically.
Mm-hmm.
It's made of metal and wire.
Mm-hmm.
That could do horrible things to you if it breaks.
Horrible things to the other person if it breaks.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
Yep.
I hate that. Final Destination shit. That's some Saw shit right there. That's straight up like shit.
Game of football.
Get this ball into the end zone, or else this thing will collapse on your brain. You have 5 minutes.
I think one of the other Kickstarter non-starters they did was the fucking What Do You Mean game.
What?
Yeah, that was a Kickstarter.
The what game?
What Do You Meme?
Meme? M-E-M-E?
Yeah, meme. M-E-M-E.
That was a Kickstarter?
That was a Kickstarter.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I thought that was just I just thought that was like a weird like card game that like some executive like did a line of something which is like, I have an idea.
It was a Kickstarter by a guy named Fuck Jerry.
You know what? Fuck Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Jerry. Fuck him and his stupid name.
There's also another one, which is like a guy who goes on for 20 minutes about how to make computers even better. Do you want to know how he does it?
I want to know how to make computers better.
They're no longer binary. They are now Busco quadnary.
Pardon?
You see, now the computers use 0s, 1s, 2s, and 3s for fourth dimensional programming.
Uh-huh.
He also came up with the unified field theory that 0 is 1. 0 equals 1.
How?
Because you see, he was proselytizing in a game of League of Legends.
He was what now?
He was proselytizing in a game of League of Legends, and he came
That's not a word.
He was proselytizing.
I don't believe you.
He was trying to prove He was trying to prove that God existed, and
in League.
He was playing League, and some guy said God doesn't exist, and he was like, actually.
Oh, Christ.
And he accidentally discovered unified field theory, because you see, all these things add up to a whole. You see, roads make a country, and people make a country, but that all comes from nothing. But then it adds up to 1. So 0 equals 1, and that's unified field theory.
Try to prove God exists through math. I mean, math doesn't lie.
Hey, Flanders, I was just doing my taxes, and I accidentally proved that God doesn't exist mathematically.
I'm frustrated. This whole thing is very frustrating. I feel just so, like, so raw, so exposed.
People come up with all sorts of weird things on Kickstarter.
That's why, like, ironically enough, like, that's the one thing that always bums me out is that, like, how often I'll see, like, a really cool idea for something on Kickstarter, but I'm always ever so slightly, like, hesitant. Like, it's like, but there have been so many things where, like, something horribly wrong happens, and I don't want to be that person who pledges money to something that ends up being a shit idea. And at the same time, I also wish that there are times where I'm like, fuck, I really should have done that, because then, like, I could have helped support it in the way that I could have, but I didn't. God damn it. That's what happened with Chicory.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment now, I'm just the guy who's bought chicory for people now. Here's this, here's this, here's a code, and one for me. But sometimes you get great ideas, and sometimes you get whack ideas. Sometimes you're backing Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, and other times you're getting a fucking football helmet that makes it so you can't move. That's the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
That's the gamut.
All right. I think I'm going to call it for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to be playing Xenoblade again next week. We're going to be trying to do this every Saturday. And then Mondays, I'll do like a different game every once in a while. But Saturdays are Xenoblade days.
Xenoblade Saturdays, and then Mondays just a random thing off the top of your head, or
probably
spin a wheel.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. Play by ear.
Yep. Anyway, I hope you all have a good night.
I need to go soak my hands in ice.
Yes, please do.
I'm on fire.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.